afternoon. We're grilling the memories. Got movies on the screen. Trying to beat the heat. Got Blake on the radio. Cooking brisket low and slow. A cold drink in her hands and Nintendo. Burnt burgers and MTV. Yellow summers we believe. Pop culture's in our melody. Barbecue and good company. Living life so carefree. Underneath the sun we'll always be. Burnt burgers and MTV. Real barbecue reality.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is St. Patty's Day. It's Sunday, March 17th. How's everybody doing out there, real life crew? Today, we got some fun guests on the show. We've got Clint Baker with the Riddlin Kids. Looking forward to it. We're going to be talking about some St. Patty's Day movies. Welcome, chat. Welcome, everybody. And let's get this going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All the places we have been, barbecue to watching Nickelodeon. Come along for a real life adventure. Celebrate the 80s, 90s pop culture. It's Friday night. It's time to go live with the real life. Friends by our side, have a drink or two. Talk about cartoons. Here's a toast to you, the real life crew. The real life crew. Here's a toast to you.
Clint Baker.
Hey,
What's
how's
up,
it going?
man?
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day to you. Are you wearing green, young man? Are you wearing green?
I'm holding this cup all day.
Oh,
I
works.
have a subconscious thing that doesn't allow me to wear green online because I used to do a green screen. And anytime you have a green thing on your shirt, there's like a hole in you. They're like, what's going on with it? Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a green screen up today, but I have green underwear on. How about that?
I'll take it. I'll take it. I won't pinch you. I won't pinch you. I'll take your word for it. Oh. Sipping on this delicious coffee is my first cup of the day, man. So it's been a hell of a weekend. Salud, dude. Happy St. Patty's Day. Click.
Boom.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir. Man, glad you came in today. We've been talking about doing this for a long time.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad it's just life and schedules. We got to just roll. I'm glad we were able to do it as well, and on a special day of all days, it's St. Patty's Day. So, yes, I'm wearing green. I am wearing my St. Patty's Notre Dame hat. Yeah, it's a Notre Dame hat. And then, do you recognize this shirt?
No, I do not.
So it's an old YouTube clip from a news station they went to Alabama, and I'll send it to you, man. It's where this little small town thought that they see a leprechaun up in a tree.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this was the amateur sketch that they said. Somebody drew an amateur sketch of what they think the leprechaun looks like. So if you see him, it's like a stick figure.
I love that.
It's hilarious, man. So a couple of things we do to start the show off, man, is we're gonna jump into the top 5 movie box office hits of the past week, man. So this was from the weekend of March 8th through the 10th. Coming in at number 5, we've got Bob Marley, One Love. Number 4, Cabrini. Number 3, Imaginary. Number 2, Dune Part 2. And number 1, Kung Fu Panda 4. We actually got some decent ones going this week, man, because I've heard interesting things about Dune 2. Kung Fu Panda 4. I can't go wrong with that. I got to take my kids to see that one. Imaginary. So I heard that that's like the Five Nights at Freddy people. I don't really know much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I have no idea. I've been so busy doing band stuff this week. I haven't got a chance to even go to the movies. I can tell you Dune 2 is a banger. That was a really good. Have you seen Dune 2 yet?
I haven't even seen the first one, man. But I plan
to. The first one was solid. It was really good. Like, it was a good movie. And then this one, Dune 2 is like twice as good as the first one. It's fantastic. It's like a setup, you know what I mean? The first movie set up the second movie beautifully. And yeah, it's fantastic. A lot of those old school epic sci-fi movies, they move slowly anyway, you know what I mean? And if you've seen the first Dune from the 80s, you know, it's not like it's like stuff all the time. It's a slow build, and it's based on a book. I'm sure the book's the same way. So
yeah, I think I remember seeing it. It was like super thick. Cool. Yeah, I haven't seen any of these. It would be fun to go see, but I do plan on watching Dune. The Dune. Is it just a part 2, or you think there's gonna be a part 3?
I think they're gonna do a part 3. So
Okay.
I saw something where the director was talking, and they were asking him about it, and he said, "Well, he told Florence Pugh." Well, basically, like Zendaya, he said, "Okay, you're going to be introduced in the first one, and the second one, you're going to take a big part of the movie," and she does. Then he said the same thing to Florence Pugh. You're introduced in the second one. If you're back for the third one, you're going to be a main part of the third one. And he kind of said, "Well, we'll see what happens." Like, almost like the ball was in her court if she wanted to come back for it or something. You know what I mean? But I'm sure that's just her direct. You know, he was in an interview. I'm sure they're going to be back for it because this one was great.
Cool. I'm going to watch it because I kind of dig Timothy, the actor, because we watched Wonka, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's a great flick, dude. It's because it's a prequel. It's an origin story of Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, he's really good in that. I hear. I haven't got a chance to see that one either.
They did a great homage to the original. So it's a musical just like the original. Hugh Grant as Oompa Loompa kills it, man. Because it just like the original, they just kind of come in every once in a while and do a song or two, you know. And it's similar to this. He's just this little wisecracking Oompa Loompa. That's like he plays an important role, of course, but he killed it in that one. So because of that, I'm a fan of Timothée Chalamet now. So I'm gonna look into that.
Hugh Grant has been having a big comeback. Everything he does now is just badass, you know. Like, and I've always liked Hugh Grant.
Yeah, me too. My favorite rom-com that he was in, and you'll appreciate this because you're a musician. Did you ever see Music and Lyrics with him and Drew Barrymore?
No, I never saw that.
You gotta see it. Oh, it's fantastic.
Music and Lyrics. I'll go check it out. Yeah.
He's a 80s has-been. It's basically a playoff of Wham. So, you know, George Michael and whoever the other guy was. Well, he's the other guy. Well, Hugh Grant plays the other guy. Yeah. It's fantastic. They do a great mockumentary of, like, the very opening scene is an 80s. You remember VH1 when they used to do the VH1 pop-ups, the little trivia tidbits and stuff? It's just like that. It's an 80s. Yeah. Yep. It's just like that. It's fantastic. Music and Lyrics. Coming over on Twitch. The most watched games currently on Twitch, we've got Fortnite number 5, Valorant at number 4, League of Legends number 3, Grand Theft Auto number 5, Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 2, and Just Chatting. So the reason why I promote this Just Chatting and over on Twitch is because I have a Twitch channel, and that's where I stream all of my movies when we go live, and we do like MST3K in it. We're going to be doing what with Splat Attack on April 5th over on Twitch. We're going to be watching some Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes and just having a good time, man. So make sure you guys are following me over on Twitch, on the Twitchies. What else? Okay, I want to talk about you now, man. Let's talk about Clint Baker for a minute. So I got your Instagram pulled up. Let's just give everybody who don't know who you are, just give them your spiel, man. Let them know.
Okay. I'm Clint Baker. I'm the singer for Riddlin Kids, early 2000s pop punk phenom. And then I have a YouTube channel called Clint Likes Everything on YouTube. And we talk about movies and TV shows and fun stuff like that. And yeah, and that's me. I also play bass in a band called Generation Exit that will be playing a show today at 6 p.m. at Nosh and Bevy, an English pub that's on Burnet Road in Austin, Texas. So that's 8440 Burnet Road to be exact. And it's gonna be a fun day, and I'm starting a day right here with you guys. So there you go.
There you go. And yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this, but I want to talk about the very first time I met you.
Okay.
So are you from Austin? Where are you from, man?
I'm from McAllen down in South Texas, and I've lived in Austin since '96. So I've lived in Austin longer than I lived in my hometown even. So I consider myself from here.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm a country boy. I was raised in Rockdale, Texas, is where I grew up, man. And I moved to the big city. I moved to the big city in 2001, and I joined up in a band. We were a pop punk band. I didn't know anybody. They knew everybody. And they're like, "Hey, man, I got this party we're gonna go to, man. Let's go. So and so from the Riddlin Kids is gonna be there." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Let's go check it out." And I remember walking in, and we're all kind of mingling and everything, and I don't know anybody, and I spotted you, and you had the slick hair back, just like you do now, and you were going for, I mean, through my eyes, my perspective, you were going for. Remember when Dickies was a thing, like the Dickies and like the button up gas station look, the 50s like punk social kind of thing, you were wearing that, and I remember how much of a fan of it was I was, and so I saw you sporting, and I was like, "Oh, that dude's got style." And I just walked up, and the first thing I just randomly said to you was, "Hey, look, Dickies." and you gave me this look like, "What the hell is wrong with this guy?" Why? And you just like, "I don't know who you are, bro, but I don't know what your problem is." But in hindsight, it is hilarious. And I was just like, "Oh, I don't even remember what happened after that. All I remember is the look on your face when I said, 'Hey, Dickies.'" And I want you to know, even though this was probably 30 years ago, I want you to know I was not saying anything of negative. Like, I wasn't calling you a dick. I wasn't saying you're a dick, man. I'm like, no, I was just really a big fan of like that style and Dickies because I couldn't afford that kind of stuff, and it was a cool look on you, man. So I had to bring up the first time I ever met you, man. So
I was big gulps. See you later.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
that's how it was, man.
That's funny, man.
But it's nice to know you, man, and I'm glad we got to connect and everything. Because and then I spotted you working somewhere, and I was like, "Hey, is that so?" I was telling my wife, I was like, "Hey, I think that's the singer from the Riddlin Kids." She's like, "Sean, don't go ask. Every time you go up and ask somebody, you think there's somebody, and you look like an idiot. And it's never who they are." And I'm like, "Fine, I won't say it."
You should have come out and, "Hey, Dickie." What?
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy? He's back.
That's it. Well, you had the look too. You got that square shaped hat. I don't know what that style is called, but he still had the look and everything. I'm going, that sure does look a lot like him. And then it turns out you left that place. And then the next time I saw a manager there, I said, "Hey, you got an employee here that works here, and he reminds me a lot of the singer from the Riddlin Kids." He goes, "Oh yeah, that's Clint. He's our bartender." I go, "Oh, how about that?" I'm not crazy. I go, oh, well, so when's he work here? Oh, he doesn't work here anymore. I'm like, oh, I'll never see this guy again. So
Once I get spotted, I have time to move on, man. Once somebody recognizes me.
That's it. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
They found me again.
I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty. Let's do it. Let's do an icebreaker, man. This is my 1994 spinny wheel blimp thing. So it's got categories on it from IC, food, animals, cartoons, and songs, and the alphabet on the other wheel. It's really fun. And then the chat, let's say hi to the chat. First to the key, we got Ryan Schmiga. What's up, buddy? Happy St. Patty's Day to you, sir. I met Ryan at a sidewalk sale yesterday. He drove all the way up from Port Lavaca and
Wow.
over 3 hours away to come to the event. And he's my first fan, man. He actually drew me that picture of Zebo the Clown back there, and I had to like prop it up there. So props to Ryan. So thank you so much for doing that. And it's great to see you here, man. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, thanks for the intro, Sal. I'm glad you like the intro song, man. That's so I don't get copy slapped. And I know you do this too. You do all your own original music too, just so we don't get copy slapped, right? Go Snow up in the house. What's going on, man? How you doing? And oh, yep, there he is. Zebo's back there, man. So here we go. Chat, join in as well. Let's see. Let's see. Name an animal that starts with G.
Is that for me to name?
Everybody, yeah, everybody jump in.
Gorilla.
Giraffe. Let's go with giraffe. What other animals are that starts with G?
I was going Gonzo. He's like the unnamed animal. Nobody knows what Gonzo is quite.
I guess they are animals, aren't they? You know, I never even thought. I guess because Kermit's a frog, Miss Piggy's a pig. But what is he? Yeah, I guess we don't know what Gonzo is.
That's the thing, and you know, and he dates chickens, but you don't really know what Gonzo is. You're like, what is he?
He dates chickens.
Yeah, that's all. Camilla is his girlfriend, the chicken.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, good old. I see it. We recently connected when my kids were like 2 years younger. We jumped on the Muppet Babies remake. And it was really good. It's really good writing for a gazelle. A gazelle. Why does that make me laugh? There was some movie quote where somebody said a gazelle, like a gazelle. Is it Nacho Libre? Is it Nacho Libre?
Yes, I think it is. Actually,
yeah. He's like a gazelle. Yeah. Good
Sometimes
stuff.
when you're a man, you wear stretchy pants in your room for fun.
That's it. What was his name? What was the little boy? Chancho, I need to borrow some sweats. Oh, look who we got popping in here. We got the Sunny channel. I always thought Gonzo was an aardvark, but Arthur is an aardvark, and they don't look alike. That's a good point, Sunny. Sunny was there yesterday at the sidewalk sale, and he mentioned that's your home. That's your boy, man.
Sunny's my homie for years. I love Sunny. How you doing?
Yeah.
Sunny?
Yeah, Sonny, good to see you, man. I did have to ask you something. He asked me to bring it up to you. How was the comedy stuff, man? He told me about the comedy stuff. I
haven't done any. I used to do some open mics and stuff where I met Sonny, and I haven't done them in years. I got real vulgar, and good to see you, man. I got real vulgar one day. I said, man, I don't want to be remembered for that. Like, I don't want my mom looking at me up and I'm real dirty. And then I realized I don't know how to be funny if I'm not vulgar. So that's it. What a shame. So in the garage is one thing, you know what I mean? But publicly, I want to hone it in, kind of like Jim Gaffigan or something. But and he used to actually curse and stuff back in the old days. And it's really jarring if you see him Gaffigan clip from way, way, way back, and you hear him cursing. You're like, what's going on? So I think I think if you could be funny without doing that, you're actually better at being funny instead of just being gross or being shocking and all that. Which, like, people like Dave Attell are my heroes, but because they're vulgar and super clever and they're hilarious. But I just one day I said, yeah, I need to read my material, and I never got around to doing it because I'm a man of 1,000 hats, so I'm always doing different stuff. But Sonny is hilarious. Like, if you ever get a chance, he was supposed to do a open mic for the I forget what it's called, the Joe Rogan Club that used to be the Ritz. They're all over YouTube now. They have these clips from people doing that open mic. I saw on social media. I'm pretty sure he's about to do that. So I would love to see clips from that if that happened.
Oh wow, that's awesome. He didn't tell me anything about doing no Joe Rogan Club stuff, dude. That's impressive, man.
Well, they do an open mic. Can't think of what it's called right now. It's a weird name.
I don't know it. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. But you never know with Sonny. He could have also been walking by the club and took a selfie and says, "Yeah, I'm about to go in and do an open mic," and he might have just been on his way to go to eat a burger at Chupacabra's. Like, I don't. So and then everyone on social media is like, "Holy crap!" But something Tony. It's something I give it anyway. Yeah. So I'm happy to hear.
Stitch Grayborn. I look funny.
Hey, me too, man. Me too. And if I'm sitting here stuttering and stuff, I just woke up, so I'm like, my coffee.
You're a night owl, brother. Yeah, you were texting me at like 3 a.m. this morning. I'm going. You're like, hey, I think this is a good pick. This is a good pick, and I'm going. Yeah, I'll talk in the morning. So I got you, man. Yeah. You're a night owl, dude. You were a cool night owl.
Yeah, put me on do not disturb mode and just get my messages later. That's what most of my friends do.
No, I'm just messing with you. I always keep my phone on silent. I caught your messages this morning. I was up a little bit later than I should have been because I was watching my favorite. Everybody who was following me on Instagram saw my story. My favorite St. Patty's Day movie of all time last night. What is Sonny saying? Comedy Mothership, but I didn't get picked.
Oh, douchebags! It's Kill Tony. Is that what they call it? Anyway, I'll see those comics pop up, but that's unfortunate because they missed out because Sonny has some good stuff.
Yeah, dude, I had a great conversation with him yesterday, and we've been following each other. I love his photography stuff, and he was telling me that he's got another channel. But Sonny, if or anybody in the chat, if you would like to promote your YouTube channel, I know this is probably going to go to your one of the other channels, but if you type the word real REEL in the chat, it will promote your YouTube link and everybody can go there and find you. Trumpet Master 77 in the house. What's up, my brother? He and I did a live stream last night. Him and his buddies were coaching me on a little bit of grilling techniques, and we grilled up some delicious prime ribeye steak strips wrapped with fresh jalapenos and bacon wrapped on the grill, and some side items of those HEB garlic parmesan green beans. Oh, that was so good. Such a good time last night. Incredible. Thanks for being here, brother. Good to see you. Tony. Yeah, I figured that was you, Tony. Tony was at the he was kind of organizing the Bat City Toys Ides of March sale that we were at yesterday. I had a booth set up. It was my very first booth. It was a lot of fun, dude. I just brought a bunch of this stuff that I have in the backdrop, and people just came in and want to. Well, a lot of people have never got to see this stuff growing up or like have it. So I say, hey, come in, take pictures. If you just want to hug something, just hug it. And so a lot of people are just over there just cuddling with the My Pet Monster just because they've never seen one, or Pee-wee and stuff like that, and it was a great time. So Tony, good to see you, brother. Tony, don't kill me. I won't. I want to try. Oh, I get it because that's the name of the thing. Yes. You have to forgive my friend. He's a little slow. The town is back that way. I want to try Kill Tony as well one day. You kill it, man. Yeah, out of our conversation yesterday, Sonny, you're hilarious, dude. Watch the Boondock Saints. It's a great movie, bro. Oh, dude. That's my number one. Yeah, isn't it, though? Oh, great to have you guys here. Sonny also wanted me to mention to you, what was it like? What was your experience like being on the set of House?
House was fun. It was fun and surreal and and it's all the same time. I was, I was a singer in Riddlin Kids, and on tour, I met a casting director, and Stephanie Lash, fantastic human being. She used to come to our shows all the time. I started putting her on the guest list all the time, and one day, I get a phone call and say, Clint, yeah, what's up? Hey, if I put you on a plane tomorrow, can you come to LA? And I go, yeah, I'm off for a couple of weeks. Our next tour doesn't start for a while. Okay, cool. Because I need you to be on house. And I go, what? You want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, what am I doing? She's like, well, there was a person that was cast for this and they had an emergency. They had to leave the country. So now we have this guitar player guy role, and it's a real role with real lines and stuff. I'm like, oh, and so next thing you know, I'm on a plane to LA, and I'm sitting there, and I don't know how to act. I don't know. I've never acted in anything, so I'm completely bluffing my way through all this. And they come in and they bring me my sides in the morning, which is all my lines of script and stuff. And I'm like, this is like 30 pages of this is several pages. And so I'm sitting there and I'm reading, and I'm like, surely they don't expect me to memorize all this. Yes, that's your job, to memorize all that stuff in an hour. And so I'm sitting in my trailer that they got for me because I'm an actor, and trailer, and I'm sitting there and I'm trying to learn all this stuff. So then I come out, and okay, Clint, somebody with the clipboard. Okay, Mr. Baker, we're ready for you. I'm like, okay. And I start going, and then I go and I see Brandy from Moesha, the pop singer Brandy, I'm acting with in this thing. And she's like, hey, I'm like, hey, I'm Clint Baker. Hey, I'm Brandy, blah, blah, nice to meet you. Cool. And then she's like, hey, you want to run lines with me? And I don't know what to say, because I don't know my lines, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I go, no, I'm good, thanks. And so I totally just completely shunned Brandy.
She's like, you blew up Brandy.
Yeah, so she's probably like, wow, this guy must be good. He really is confident, and I'm sure that's rude to another actor. Hey, do you want to run lines real quick before we do this thing? No, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah,
but I was like, no, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So then they started, and so I go into this, and this is being filmed in a studio in LA, and I walk in. I mean, there's like 75 people in this room. There's people with lights, there's people with clipboards, there's people with microphones, there's people on the camera, there's other people that are holding clipboards for the people with clipboards, and everybody, it looks like an ant pile that got kicked over. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real. And so I get in there, and then they're like, okay, Clint, get to your mark. And I'm like, huh? She goes, your mark? And then she points at the X on the floor. Oh yeah, my mark. I didn't hear you. I guess that's my mark. Okay. And I go and I stand there, and so okay, action. And so they started, and I blow my line, and then they cut. Okay, let's do that again. And then I blow my line, and then so then the director's like, Clint, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, sure. He's come with me, and he puts his arm around my shoulder, and he's like, hey, so what else have you worked on? Because it's clear to this director, this was an accomplished TV director who had a lot of like big stuff, and I said, well, I'm actually a singer for a Columbia Records band called Riddlin Kids, song on the radio, and we tour and stuff. And he goes, oh, I see what's happened here. You're like a cameo spot. Okay. I go, he's like, look, I'm going to give you a quick acting lesson. When you're acting, you need to think about what the character wants. I'm like, okay. He's like, what does he want? Now you're in a band with Brandy, right? Maybe giving her a hard time. According to what it says in the script, you're teasing her. Okay. She's saying that this legendary trumpet player is going to show up, and you're saying, bull, there's no way that, Miles Davis is not showing up to our audition. I'm giving her a hard time, and maybe you have a little sexual tension between you. You're flirting and teasing her at the same time. You see? And I go, oh, I get it. Like Han Solo and Princess Leia. And a direct out of like a physical response, he just went, oh. Like, it's like I punched him in the stomach when I said that. And I go, no, it's cool, man. I got this. And we went back, and I nailed it. They cut a bunch of my lines, but I nailed it. And then there was a little part where I sing a song teasing her that I made up on the spot. And then Brandy goes, hey, because they were used to me failing for the beginning of this process. Do you have a song? No, but I can come up with one real quick. Okay, take 5, came back, nailed it. And Brandy goes, "Man, that was hot." And I go, "Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I'm a song guy. That's what I do." So yeah, it was. She was very pleasant. Her mother, who plays for manager, was noticeably miffed that we were taking so long, but that was all my fault because she's used to just, yeah, we'll just get this quick little spot. Brandy can pop in for we can go have lunch and then we'll be home by 2 in the afternoon or whatever, and we ended up there for way longer, taking way more takes because of me. So then I came to Austin and I took acting classes and I learned how to do that because I never wanted to be in that position again. And then after acting classes, I'd done voiceover classes, I'd done stand-up comedy classes. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's really fun. And I encourage everybody at home, if you have an interest like that, go take a class. There's classes all over that you can learn a lot of those things. There's resources online, but there's something about getting in the community, getting around people. Once you get your toe in the pond, there's other people there and you meet, and that's how you really get into acting or playing music. Even if you go to a show and you meet other bands, all of a sudden you know people. If you get you can do some online interaction like you and I, but we met in real life, and to me it's kind of weird how people have gotten to where they just talk on the internet, and then if they see somebody, they're like, man, I know that person from somewhere. Their profile picture is where you know them, and you're like, yeah, you're friended, but you've never even met in real life, and it's such a weird thing. But yeah, get out there, and that's how you end up being an actor or doing stuff, because you meet people out on the feed and get into these things. And also, if you're like, man, I'm lonely and I never meet anybody because I just go to work and come home and I'm in this rut. Going out and taking some karate classes, you're going to meet somebody in the karate class. Working out, you're going to meet somebody. Going to an acting class, you're going to meet people. And if there is a stand-up comedy club, you're going to meet funny people. So yeah, get out there and experience the world in real life.
Love it, man. Love it. Great inspirational speech there, man. I love it. Great encouragement. That's what we're all about here. And Tony, I'm sure there's got to be stuff I took classes at ACC for video production, and their RTF program is phenomenal. And I had a really great time, a really fun time learning the ins and outs, just kind of learning like the lingo, basically the terminology of what I learned. Because art, when you whatever you're going to film, whatever content you're going to create, that's your art. It's subjective. So there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's, man. So if you want to go just learn the technical side of things, I recommend the ACC courses at the RTF program over there. But I wonder if they do have acting classes over there. Is there? I don't know if you're allowed to plug or anything, but if there's any kind of acting classes that you're interested, that about, Clint, let this guy know, because he sounds interested, man. Tony wants to know.
Man, in the area, all you have to do is Google it, man. It's like, where's Kmart? Well, they're all gone, but you can find a Best Buy. No, but like in Austin, there's a bunch. The place I used to go was called Studio E. They're no longer there, but there are a bunch.
Yeah,
just
but
look
I
it
love
up. And
go ahead.
I was going to say, you can get it. There's Facebook groups. There's all kinds of way to interact. But that's what I'm saying is, like, you end up meeting somebody at this class. You guys might end up writing the next Boondock Saints, because you're both, dude, I love these movies. I'm a Tarantino fan. I've always wanted to write something in that genre. I have this idea. Oh, and then you collaborate. Next thing you know, you guys are making a movie together. Oh, well, my uncle's a billionaire. He'll fund it. Cool. And that's how you got out there, found the money, and figured something out, is just by getting out into the world. You were about to say something.
I was just gonna say, I love what you said about getting out and meeting people, and is what just pretty much just along the lines of what you're saying is you find people with similar interests, and that's kind of how it's been going. Like, I've been for 30 years, man. I've been going to work, coming home, and I don't know it, and nobody in my work gets me, and ever has, and it wasn't until April when I started this channel and just realized that the internet is a big world. And I was able to connect with so many like-minded individuals, and we're able to connect. Like you said, we're doing most of it through live streams and things like that. But some of these people I get to actually meet in person, and it's like you said, it's so strange that it's like, oh yeah, we follow each other and we chat it up, but we never met in person. But whenever you do meet in person, there's like this unspoken connection that you have with these people because y'all have been talking so long that you kind of know what you guys are into. And so for me, it takes away any kind of nerves or like uncomfortableness, awkwardness, that kind of stuff, like Ryan, I met him through the Splat Attack crew, and we've been kind of chatting up a little bit, and then we met yesterday in person, and it was just great. We just sat around and talked for an hour. I mean, it's just you find people with the common interests, and you're gonna thrive. It's just if you start on the internet, great, because that's where I started. And then next thing I knew is now I have friends. And so it's nice to socialize, and that's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen, to bring the communities together and encourage, just like you said, Clint.
Yeah.
And that was. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Studio E is where I met Sonny. Sonny, like we did a stand-up class, and it was a small class. It was like maybe 7 people, and we would all pick subjects out of a hat, and then they'd say, "Okay, go off and write some material." And you go off for like an hour and come up with jokes, and then everybody come up and do a couple minutes in front of the rest of the comics. And so then after you're done doing your material, then the people sit and say, "Hey, I really like that thing about the Kia. I thought you were gonna say this, and oh, I didn't even consider." Yeah, then you add that to your stuff. While you were talking about that, you could have talked about that the turkey is actually your girlfriend. Oh, I didn't even consider that. And then and so like you got like basically a team of people developing your material with you. And then when you go off and do open mics, you've got all this material that other people helped you craft, because you're learning from them, they're learning from you, and everybody gets up and takes a turn. And then what's also cool is going out by yourself can be kind of weird for open mics. But all of a sudden, I'm going out to open mics, and I have all these people that I know from class that are also there. So you have a support system and stuff. So that was a really cool thing. And John Singer, who does a lot of touring and is doing really well. He's another comedian. There's several people that were in that class that they're still some of my favorite people. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't mean to get off track, but yeah. Studio E alum, stand up.
Nice. That's why we're here, man. It's just to go down rabbit holes. So if you want to check out Clint on House, according to IMDb, he is in season 1, episode 9. According to IMDb, would you say that's accurate?
That is accurate. It's episode is DNR, and I'm just in the intro, like in the in the beginning, until somebody says, "Somebody call a doctor," and then the credits come in, then I'm done.
Oh, great! So you're right at the beginning, dude. That's great.
Yeah, you just watch the beginning, and be like, cool, and then not follow up on the episode. It's great.
Well, that's all we wanted. We just want to see you anyway, and I still am excited to check out this Bloody and Bruised documentary, man. Where can we see that, dude? Where?
It's actually still getting finished. Like there's a finished cut that the director is doing screenings of, and but it's still in the post house, getting color correction and audio correction and stuff. So it's a nearly perfect version, but they sent it to this finishing, like my lingo's bad. It's a post production house where they make sure everything is balanced and perfect. Sonny,
Thanks,
take
Sonny.
it easy, brother.
See you around, bud. We're gonna get him on the stream. So
cool.
Okay, so it's still in the post production phase. Cool.
Yes, but it's screening. It's showing on the 20th, but it's private screenings that they're doing right now, and it's being submitted to all these different film festivals. And then after that, I'm sure they're going to try and get it on Amazon or Netflix or one of these streaming services.
I can't wait to check it out, man. Because I played my old band. We played at the Back Room once. We played there on probably a Monday or Tuesday night, dude. And that I'm excited. This is this untold story about the Back Room, which is an old music venue that's been around since the late 70s. I don't even know. You probably know more than I do.
Since the 80s. Yeah, I know the whole history now. I narrated the whole documentary. Since the 80s, and we got interviewed to be like in this because we played there. Riddlin Kids. We did our CD release party there, and we played there a million times. And then I had Boudreaux Partida, the director, on my podcast and on my YouTube channel, and because he does horror film and stuff like that. So I had him interviewing him about his short, and then had him on when we tackled the subject of certain horror movies and stuff, and had hit, hey, what is your perspective from being a horror director? And so anyway, one day I'm like, so what are you thinking about? What's your next project? And he said, well, I'm thinking about doing a backroom documentary. And everybody online was like, yes, do it. It went crazy. Fast forward a few years, I'm narrating, because I do voiceover work too, and usually my stuff is like, get future ready with the Dell Inspiron 550 series. A great mind needs a great machine. That's usually the kind of stuff that I'm doing, and but all of a sudden I'm like, in 1986, blah blah, doing this thing, Ronnie Rourke, and I was like, okay, do you want more Optimus Prime, or do you want is this supposed to be the untold story of the back room, or do you want me to tone it down? Hey, tone it down a little bit. We're okay, no, less monster truck, more just cool, okay, gotcha. So we found a happy balance between the two, because when you hear bloody and bruised, I feel like it's supposed to be
yeah.
So
yeah, no, I've heard a bunch of your demo for your voiceover work, dude. I was like, dude, I didn't even know that could come out of you. The kind of stuff that you're doing over on your SoundCloud is where I heard it. And
right
man, yeah, it's great stuff, man. You're super talented, dude, man. Really, really great stuff. Really great stuff. But I'm excited. Yeah,
thanks,
I did see. I saw you in the trailer. I remember you telling me that you narrated it. I'm looking forward to checking this out, dude. That's really great that Boudreaux's doing that. And that dude, he's got his hands in a lot of stuff.
He's really talented guy, and I'll tell you about that backroom documentary. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been had a friend who was in a movie or in a TV show. My biology partner in high school, Sonny Castillo, he's in a lot of stuff, and I saw him on an episode of Gotham one time. In the same week, he was in a Guy Ritchie film, Wrath of Man, with Jason Statham, and then the following weekend he was in Army of the Dead with
Batista and all those
Zack Snyder movie. Zack Snyder, the zombie movie is from Zack Snyder. So I've seen, and he's a good buddy of mine. Every single time, I grew up with this guy. I know his parents. I used to go to his house. I played in a band with his brother. And anytime I see him on screen, it screws up the show. You get lost in shows, you get immersed in it, and it's magical. And that's why you can sit there and binge a show, and all of a sudden you're like, God, I just watched 6 episodes of this. But anytime this guy pops up, it takes me out, and it's not real anymore. It's not it messes it up, takes me out of the story. And I thought that the Backroom documentary, hearing myself say, come all of a sudden start talking, or seeing friends of mine in the documentary and other bands and people from Austin that I know, I thought it was going to pull me out, and it didn't. The storytelling's really well done in where I just was immersed in the story, and it was cool. So a story that I didn't even know where the documentary was going. It was great. So anyway, basically I'm publicly giving Boudreaux props, hey man, great storytelling, because if I can see something in it and actually stay immersed in the story, you did a great job. So
that's it. You're absolutely right. I know what you mean. Where I don't know anybody that's been in. I had a friend once, and but I don't know anybody in the industry, so I can't say I've ever experienced that same thing, other than my own music and things like that. When I hear my own, or see myself on camera, I was like, I've kind of accepted it now that I'm kind of doing this weekly now. I'm just like, okay, at least I get to wear these glasses and nobody can see. I can hide it a little bit, but but yeah,
it's dark when you see somebody, it at least to me, I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I'm almost like I can't even tell if you did a good job or not. It took me out of the show. It's you almost can't even critique, because you can't, it's weird.
Yeah, well, it was funny when I saw I had been following Sonny for a little while, and then I was watching his one of his live streams, and somebody had asked about something about Idiocracy. And I'm like, what? What?
Yeah.
And he's going, oh yeah, when I was on the set, blah blah blah. I'm going, what? This dude was in Idiocracy? And then I went and of course I Googled him right away. And then sure enough, there he was in the courtroom scene. I'm going, oh my gosh, I've been following this guy for how long? And I never even knew. And apparently he's been in some other stuff too. And his dad was in it and all kinds of fun stuff. And I can't wait to bring him on and just to learn more about the dude and learn more about the experience and fun stuff, stories he's had on set and that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, that's the only person, but when I saw him yesterday, great guy, super cool guy, just like you, man, just like you. So y'all, everybody just so cool, down to earth, and we could just sit and talk, and we're just, I don't know. It's just great whenever you can meet people that you don't mind talking to, and the energy is there, and y'all just talk and back and forth. There's always something, So
I loved meeting you in person. You when you showed up, we had to meet up at Pinballs for the Riddlin Kids thing because we had a lot of people coming to town. So I said, hey, I don't ever get to really hang out with people at shows because you're so busy making sure that you're ready to play the show that you don't get to talk to people, and everybody rushes off after the show's over. So I did a meetup, and he shows up decked head to toe with like, dude, I loved it. You're like, this is Super Mario Brothers over here, and this is like remember the Snorks? That's what like it was like everything you had on was some kind of memorabilia type of a cool thing, and I thought that was awesome.
Thanks, man. I gotta. I'm not the person to buy like fancy shoes and just let them sit on the shelf. I gotta wear that stuff, man. I gotta sport it, dude. That's why it's like toys. I don't let them sit in the cases, man. I gotta play with them, that kind of thing. So that's what it's all about, dude.
You're not posing in on the internet and out in real life. Out in real life, you're living that. Like, you know what? You're like, check these out. This is you remember Sega Game Gear? This is my Game Gear hoodie that from 1991. Like, holy crap!
Well, and what I love
didn't come out until 92. Just kidding.
It's you silly man. He what you also picked a fantastic venue that it was, there was no, it wasn't like you picked a country bar and I showed up in Nintendo gear. Yeah. You picked Pinballs Arcade, dude, which is the greatest place I've ever locally that I really love, between that, because as that has the retro stuff, so I love pinball. So great. That was a great time hanging out with you and the band guys and all. And that's where I met Boudreaux and some other great people around there, so that was a lot of fun, dude. So thanks for setting that up.
It was.
Okay. Well, are we ready? We got the real wheel of pop culture today, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about St. Patty's Day movies. And so I just put a bunch of stuff. I Googled some of these, and some of these I haven't seen. Some of them I have seen. Some of them I want to see. And they're not technically all having to do with leprechauns and pot of gold or anything like that, but they all contain some kind of Irish or Scottish actors in them, and or leprechauns or something along those lines. So to us, these are our St. Patty's Day movies. Let's give it a spin and see what we come up with. And chat, feel free to join in and let us know if you've seen these movies. Oh, well, there you go. Right out of the gate, man. We've got
right out of the gate.
My number one St. Patty's Day movie of all time. There we go. Yeah, let's blow that stuff up. Boondock Saints, man. What do you guys know about the Boondock Saints? You, Clint, what do you know?
I love that movie. Are you kidding? Boondock Saints, fantastic. Boondock Saints. If you have you ever seen the documentary about the making of Boondock Saints?
I don't think I have,
dude.
No.
What's his name?
Troy Duffy.
Troy Duffy. That guy. He's a musician. He bartended and worked security in a club in LA. And while he was working there, he saw somebody get killed, I think. And somebody was coming over and taking money out of the pockets of the dead guy, like pickpocket, and he was like, "What a terrible world!" And this made him go and write that script about a bunch of crime fighters that got, you know what I mean, about two two guys that are decide to go against evil, and it was based on that. He saw that happen, and he was like, "What a terrible world!" And he wrote this script, and then this is right after Tarantino kind of showed up on the scene, to where people are like, just the idea of a bartender musician writing a script just had this allure, and like where they're like, yeah, we're gonna pull the next Tarantino out of the dirt. He came up with the script, and all of a sudden there was like a bidding war where everybody is coming in, and he became like a LA celebrity, and you had like A-list people that are like, all of a sudden people at the level of like John Travolta are like, hey, Troy, and he's at the club, and they're like coming over like, hey, any chance I can be in your movie? Like big time people.
Wow.
And then Miramax ended up picking it up with the guy who didn't kill himself, who shall not be named. Harvey.
Oh yeah.
We're not gonna talk about that guy, but
I don't care. I don't care.
I'm just kidding. We do not say his name.
We know who he is.
That guy.
We don't talk about Bruno. Yeah.
Miramax, but he ended up picking up this movie. They bought the bar that he worked at and made him a partner, where he got half of the bar. They had I think they gave him a $400,000 signing bonus, and they were going to make this movie. And so also they signed his band to a record deal so that they could make the soundtrack for the movie. So all of a sudden his band gets signed. He owns half of the bar. He has $400,000, and it all went to his head. And he was like 26 years old. And he also got not only is the writer of the movie, but gets to direct the movie. And so this guy they start making the movie, and he is a total prima donna. Like, he has this vision and all this, and he was so difficult that they ended up just canning the whole project, and Miramax just kicked him out. They wanted to get, I believe it was Sylvester Stallone to play the Willem Dafoe part. They had like A-list people, and he had met. He went to New York and had a sit down with Ewan McGregor. That's who it was, to talk about being in his movie. And this is when he was young, and they ended up getting into an argument. Like, I think he got drunk, and they got into an argument or whatever, and then walked away. And Ewan McGregor was like, "Screw this! I don't want to be in your stupid movie," because they got in a drunk argument. And after that, Harvey, who ended up just saying, "You know what, you're a pain in the ass," and they canned the whole project. They had like a $15 million budget, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Boom, you're done. You don't have a movie anymore." And all of a sudden he's sitting there holding the bag, and he got blacklisted from Hollywood. Nobody wanted to work with him. And then this other independent distributor came in later. After a while, it was like all of a sudden, almost it's a record deal, and then all of a sudden you get shelved and your record's not coming out or something. It's like, but so then somebody else came in and funded him, and there'd been a lot of hype. And but this was going to be like big time. This, I think Miramax is the same people that put out Pulp Fiction. They're like that did Tarantino stuff. Miramax was huge in the 90s. And so anyway, like, after all this, now he's just sitting there like, oh great. And then and all the actors, everybody, he just got blacklisted. And so somehow he ends up getting signed with these people. He went, and they end up making this movie in Canada. And the whole time he always wanted Bill Connolly to be in the movie, but he ended up getting Sean Patrick Flannery and Norman Reedus in it, and Willem Dafoe, and they made this movie on the cheap. I think it was a $6 or $7 million budget instead of a $15 million budget, and somehow they scraped through. And I'm really thankful, because I think that it's a masterpiece. Can you imagine seeing like, hey, there's Sylvester Stallone. Hey, we got this other A-list at the time. Oh, I'm sure it was the 90s. I'm sure you'll probably have an Antonio Banderas part in there somewhere. And then, it would have just totally soiled the movie. Not that those guys aren't great, but like what we got ended up being such a masterpiece. And when they released it, it was only in a very small amount of theaters in the United States. It was Concubine, sorry, Columbine had just happened, and so gun violence was not a hot topic. So it kind of got the short end of the stick on that, where all of a sudden people didn't want to see that. So they ended up not putting it in many theaters, at a very small run. It was a huge hit in Japan. And so which is wild. Yeah. And but whenever it got released to DVD or home video, I guess, it performed insane and blew up and blew up and blew up. It's funny. What's his name? Born Identity, same thing. That didn't do very well in the theater, but once it hit home video, it exploded and became the biggest thing ever, like the highest rented movie ever. So then, next thing you know, we have 5 Born Identities, and we have 2 or 3 Boondock Saints. There's only 2.
We have 2. Yeah, we got 2. Part 2 is, in my opinion, the same as the first. I didn't really see too much of a difference other than the Rocco character type. It was still a fun ride. It was interesting to see. Smoke 'em up, Johnny. Well, Judge. What's his name? Judd.
Ron Jeremy's in it.
Oh yeah, he was in the first one. Yeah, Ron Jeremy was in the first one. Yep, yeah. So who was your favorite character from the original Boondock Saints?
I just went down a rabbit hole given the history of Boondock Saints, but I forgot to tell you that there is a documentary about that, and it shows behind the scenes stuff. They kind of paint the director in a pretty harsh light. He went on to claim later that, hey, it's not. They kind of showed my bad sides and didn't show my good sides. That wasn't me every day, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? But like, they really make him look like a prima donna. That's what the
I believe it.
About. It was super interesting though. Like if you're a fan of that movie, you watch this documentary, you're like, holy crap, this is a crazy story. So anyway.
Yeah, if you let, I'll look it up, or just DM it to me sometime, or let me know what it's called. I'll look it up. I'm really intrigued to look at that. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me, because when I was in film school, my very first class, my professor, the first thing he said, "Oh, I want you guys to tell me one of your favorite movies." And of course, everybody's like, "Tarantino this, Tarantino that," and then I said, "The Boondock Saints," and he goes, "Oh, you're a Troy Duffy fan." And I'm going, well, what's wrong with Troy Duffy? He goes, "Oh, that guy is just," and he just went on this thing. He just couldn't stand him, And the only thing about most of the teachers at that school that I had, my specific teachers, all the stuff we ever watched were foreign films, and they're beautifully shot. They're no doubt they know what they're doing, but those kind of films don't attract me as much as like Americanized, like stuff like Boondock Saints or that kind of stuff. But everything, we never once did we watch anything American in any of my film school than I ever did. Even when it came to the editing stuff, we watched some foreign film about. We spent a whole semester on talking about, if you want to do this kind of shot where you need to find the right props. It was a scene from some foreign flick where a girl had a sugar cube, and she puts the tip of it in a coffee, and the coffee soaks up into the cube. So you get this great shot of just this sugar cube, just like soaking. And we went for weeks talking about that scene, and it's just okay. That's cool, man. That's good. Yeah, that's nice. But my first teacher hated Troy Duffy with a passion, and from what I've heard from other people was that he made a big stink about this movie because. But it sounds like I need to go watch those documentaries so I can learn about it from the horse's mouth. That's great.
Yeah, I think there's even two documentaries. But yeah, when you're 26 years old, you're given $400,000, and now you own the bar that you used to throw the trash out for. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's like that's a weird thing. And but it's a good lesson because the universe has a way of humbling people. You know what I mean? Like, you're really gifted to end up in a situation like that. in the first place, and then you act like a douchebag, and then the universe says, you know, and then you're, you know, but then you still get to do the thing, and as you're gifted, but you like, hopefully after that he's humbled. I think, or there's two ways it could have gone. He might say, you know what, I should have handled that better, but I'm glad for my success now. Now I'm not going to be a douchebag. Or he could be like, you know what, I told you I'm badass. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hold me back. You know, who knows how he took it. Everybody's different. But to answer your question for 5 minutes ago, Willem Dafoe is by far my favorite character. The detective that he plays in that isn't like, it's so good.
Kills it, man.
Yeah,
Kills
like,
it.
wow.
Have you seen that? So somebody posted a I don't even know what it's called, a video meme where it said, when my friend uses me as a reference in a job interview, and it's Willem Dafoe. You know how Variety or those people will do the interviews. Willem Dafoe talks about his iconic characters. You seen those videos on YouTube? Well, somebody clipped the thing of Willem Dafoe talking about his character. Dude, it's freaking great. It's freaking great. He's just like, well, so the meme says, like I said, it says, when my friend uses me as a reference, and like it's that clip, and he's talking to Meg. Goes, well, he's gay, but he does this thing. You know, oh god, it's freaking hilarious, man. Whenever you put it to that context,
put it next to it. That's funny. He's so good in that role. And he's plays a gay character, but he's macho gay character. So he's got the Asian boyfriend is like, you know, but wanting to cuddle or whatever, and he's just like, you know, it's hilarious. Like, just his whole attitude, demeanor. It's great.
That's the old school gay. You know, that's the you know, that's how it is, man. Yeah, he did such a fantastic. And then the scene, just because it's fresh on my mind, where he dressed up in drag and showed up at the house, dude. Trip, man, what a trip. And then how it just like it just turned. It was such a pivotal moment in the movie where, you know, he's like, I've gone from being a detective by the book for so many years, and he kills his first person for, you know, in his morality right reason, you know. And it's just so good, man. Such a great movie.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So mine's a toss up between Willem Dafoe. Obviously, he was the best actor in that movie, but Rocco was freaking.
Rocco's really good. Yeah,
Rocco was a really good character. I'm glad he made a cameo in part 2 as well. So I'm glad that happened. You know, you know, it broke my heart but I think that was part of the genius behind the movie, is that it had everything. It had comedy, it had action, it had drama. I mean, all the things, all the above, you know.
I love a Coke. It's like some of this movie's so 90s, you can't talk about half of the stuff that happens in this movie
that's
publicly.
True.
You get canceled. Like,
that's absolutely. I'm the funny man. I'm so funny.
You can't have retroactive cancellations, guys. Come on, that's not cool.
Now, you know
who else is? Yeah, it's history. Exactly. You know who else is one of my favorite characters? Is the bartender he's in Fraggle Rock.
Yes, he is in Fraggle Rock. Yes,
he's in Fraggle Rock, and it's broke it. You know, and I remember his little Fraggle Rock and him being in there. And first time I saw Boondock Saints, I'm like, hey, it's the Fraggle Rock guy. This is great. Where's Sprocket?
Now, was that, you think that was an acting thing?
Dog.
Yeah. He was a puppet too, right? The dog was a puppet, right? In Fraggle Rock, he wasn't real, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I think so.
I'm pretty sure he was a puppet too.
Yeah, but there was a Fraggle Rock. There was a hole that the Fraggles would go through to come into the real world, and the hole led them into this guy's shop. And the dog would see them and get all crazy, and he never noticed the Fraggles. So it was weird. That was a crazy show. If you guys never seen Fraggle Rock, that was a fantastic show.
But I always wondered if that was like an acting thing in Boondock Saints, where he had the stutter.
Yeah, it was. He didn't do that in Fraggle Rock, and he would not. he would not be able to hold that back, though. He's so severe in that in Fraggle Rock. He spoke just fine.
You know what they say? People in glass ships sink houses. Oh no! Wait, what did he say? People in glass houses sink ships. That's fantastic, man. Oh, Boondock Saints, great flick. Let's pick another one. Let's spin the wheel if I can get my cat over here.
Now I want to just cancel my show and just stay home and watch Boondock Saints.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. That's it. What time you got to be there, man?
Oh no, I'm not saying that I'm hanging out too long. I'm just saying Boondock Saints. I haven't watched it this week. You know, I didn't I haven't seen that movie in like a year or two, and just the idea of sitting in the dark watching and laughing at that movie and enjoying that movie sounds amazing.
Happy St. Patty's Day, Four Loaves. Thanks for coming on, brother. How you doing, man? You doing okay today? Are you wearing green? If not, I'm pinching you. I'm crushing your head. Remember, was it Kids in the Hall? Where he did
Yes.
I'm crushing your head.
I'm crushing your head.
Classic, man. P.S. I Love You. Did you ever see that one?
No, I never saw that movie. I don't know anything about it.
So even though I think Gerard Butler is Scottish, is that right? I think he's Scottish in real life. He plays an Irishman married to Hilary Swank. This was actually a really great movie. I really enjoyed this one. I've only watched it once. I watched it with the missus when we were first dating. So he's married to Hilary Swank and never told her, but he had brain cancer and he passes away at the beginning of the movie. But what he had known about it forever. And so what he had done was set up all of these letters all over Ireland to go to his home country, and so she could go experience and get out, because I think she was kind of a homebody, never wanted to do anything and just experience life. And he was doing all these little things to kind of open up her heart and things like that, and leaving these letters. And always at the end, he would always say, "P.S. I love you," on everything. And Harry Connick Jr. winds up being the other love interest in the movie. He plays just he's just a cool cat, man, because he's just a no nonsense. I don't know. You just got to watch it, man. I just remember his character going, "Oh, wow, I wish I could talk to a woman like that." You know, he would just be like, because she would be blowing him off and he would just say something so just like rude and just like, "Oh, what's your problem? Are you, yeah, I don't know. I can't say it nowadays, but it's a really great movie. It's P.S. I Love You. If anybody else has not seen this movie, check out P.S. I Love You. Really great stuff.
I gotta go watch that. It looks good. I mean, anything with Gina Gershon in it, I'm gonna watch.
Gina Gershon?
Gina Gershon, Kathy Bates, Lisa Kudrow, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Hilary Swank. Nice. Gerard Butler at the all-star cast right there.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, I'm glad so you're pulling it up. I'm glad you're getting some research on your end.
I just know that off the dome, man. I don't.
Sure. Oh yeah. Let's give it a spin. I'm waiting for one of these OG ones when I was like a little kid to pop up. Oh, Train Spotting. This was one of your picks you sent me last night, dude.
Yes.
What a trip, dude. Golly.
It is a trippy movie, man. The only thing I remember from Train Spotting was that the guy, I believe it's Ewan McGregor. He ends up he has a moment where he soils his bed, and that's the big.
That's this guy over here. This guy did it. The goofy guy with the glasses, because he was standing out with his girlfriend. And that was him. Oh god, that scene was so disturbing.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god. I know a guy who did that in real life. Actually, he's like, dude, there's a guy. I'm not gonna reveal the person, but this friend. It's like, guys, you're not gonna believe what happened to me. I'm like, what? And then and he's like, yeah, I woke up and that had happened, and the other person is still laying next to you. And so I was like, oh my God, what did you do? And he goes, I just left. And what? I just left, and then he's like, we had rolled around in it and stuff, and it was like horrifying. So he's like, I left, and then she called me later, and then didn't say anything, and I didn't say anything. She's like, and he said, I don't know if she thinks that she did it, and like left. Maybe she did that after he left, or something. And but I was like, what a horrifying
I can't imagine,
life,
dude.
Wow,
Oh my gosh,
it's crazy. But yeah, in that movie, that's the everybody in the theater is like, when that happens. I remember that as a kid. That's a long time ago. Happy St. Patty's Day.
That's right. And what a great all-star cast of these upcoming actors, right? Every one of these people made it. I mean, you got this guy on the left he was in like the Full Monty. He was in Once Upon a Time as Rumpelstiltskin. That's what I remember from the TV series. He killed it in that. What else? I'm trying to think of what other movies he was in. He's just a fantastic, underrated actor. Of course, Obi-Wan, a young Ewan McGregor, rocking it right there. He was, before they gave him a tan, super pale. And then this chick, do you recognize this chick?
I can't see her.
Oh, it's a little low. Let me see if I can blow it up even more. Where am I at? Can I get any bigger? It's about.
I don't know what she was.
So she was Josh Brolin's wife in No Country for Old Men.
Oh, wow.
She was the wife in the mobile home that at the end of the movie you never found out if she lived or she died. That was. I mean, that's the conspiracy anyway, because she would never call it. He was like, "Call it. You got to call it." That was his thing. But she played country girl, and then she went on to do what was the
Kelly McDonald is her name.
Okay. She went on to do some show too, where it was Boardwalk Empire. She was in Boardwalk Empire, which was a really great show. And then so she was in that, and then of course a dude from one of my top 5 movies of all time. A lot of people hate this movie, but I can't even picture his name. What's the blonde dude's name? You got it there?
Is it? I'm trying to. I can't tell.
He was the dude from Hackers. Remember Hackers?
That's a cool.
Yeah, I love that movie. It's just nostalgic to me. So he was in it. He was also in Dracula 2000, because the first thing I ever saw him in was Hackers, and I thought he was American, and then I saw him in Dracula 2000 with Gerard Butler, by the way, was Dracula. But that's when I first heard his accent, and it was like, what? It was so thick, and I'm going, what is this? And then I finally saw Trainspotting, and hey, he's also in Elementary. If you've never seen Elementary, it is a awesome take, modern day take on Sherlock Holmes. It's got Lucy Liu as Watson. And so he's in this modern take. They're in New York City. He's a consultant for the NYPD, and Johnny Lee Miller. Thank you, Stitch. Thank you, Tony. I don't want to call you Stitch. Lilo and Stitch is what I'm thinking. I see that. So yeah, Johnny Lee Miller is his name. He does a fantastic. He's an ex drug addict. And he's also a consultant for the NYPD to help him solve murders and stuff like that. And Lucy Liu she quit her medicine as a doctor, and and she's a companion for him to help keep him on the straight and narrow. Is her role in the show. It's called Elementary. Look it up, man. It's really great.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's great. They're long, and it takes you a couple of episodes to get used to his accent because it's so thick, and he speaks really, really fast. But other than that, once you get into it, it's really well done, really well written. It's very dry. I will say that, because Lucy Liu doesn't have much animation to her at all, and
she's pretty dry.
Yeah, It fits the show well. The whole show is
Cool.
great. Yeah, it's a good one. Trainspotting, good choice, man. Good choice.
Yeah.
Love that one. What else we got?
What else?
Okay, Finian's Rainbow.
I don't know this movie at all.
Dude, this is old school. Fred Astaire. I never saw it, but I used to work at somewhere, and it was St. Patty's Day, and this guy who was into some really old school obscure stuff said, the favorite movie, we just bring out the old VHS and we hook up the VCR and we pop this sucker in and we just watch it on a little bitty TV. And we set it up in the living room and we just sit there and watch it just like we're back in the 70s. And I don't know anything about it either, to be honest, other than it is a St. Patty's Day movie, legit, but it's old school Fred Astaire. So
Wow.
there you go.
Finian's Rainbow.
Yeah. I didn't have time to pull up. I was gonna have them set up with the synopsis over here, so we could kind of read a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to do all that stuff, but yeah. So I don't like anybody's heard of that one either. So let's move on. We're all a little bit too old for that one. Let's see. Oh, Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York is a banger right there.
Is it a banger? I'm gonna be honest. Never seen it.
Dude,
never seen it.
Dude, call in sick to work and watch that movie. It's great.
Okay, I'm watching that one because it deals with Irish people, right? And they're
Yes.
gangs in New York.
And it's a Scorsese movie.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a Scorsese movie, and it's also 2 hours and 40 minutes. But Amsterdam. It's a fantastic movie. And it takes place in early New York. If you've ever been to New York and you're watching this movie, it's just like to imagine what it was like at that time. It's really cool.
Good period piece. Nice.
Yeah.
Is that Cameron Diaz?
Yeah,
it sure is. Yeah, it's Cameron Diaz, Leo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, and I think I remember watching the very beginning of the movie, and it was Liam Neeson at the very beginning of the movie. So yeah, I've got to check this one out. Hopefully you guys like that one too.
It's a Scorsese movie, and it's got, and it's like an incredible cast. You can't go wrong with that movie.
2 for 2. We got The Departed. There you go. Now that's something we can talk about. That's a hell of a movie, man. God.
That's a good one too.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, when I was in film school, they ate this one alive. They were just like, you don't need to be watching that crap. You need to watch. He stole that movie from some foreign flick, apparently. Apparently, there's some other version that was made first, and it's the same movie, and it's all dubbed. Of course, it's in different language, and but they tore this one apart. But I love this movie. So well written, so many twists and turns that you're just like, you don't know. I mean, this one kept me guessing because I didn't know who was. It was like so many backstabbers. Who was the mole? Who was not the mole? I mean, of course, we had the perspectives of the main characters, but who are the other people working behind the scenes that we didn't know about? Like the one dude who you remember when he the blonde dude? I think he was in Shawshank Redemption. He was like, hey. And he gets shot when he gives him the wrong address, and Leo shows up at the right one, and he's like, "Hey, tell me why I didn't say anything. Tell me why I didn't say anything." And then it turns out they announced that he was a cop, undercover cop the whole time, And so those kind of little surprises were great. And or like he's sitting at the bar, and he says, "What did he write on the envelope?" That's a good trivia question I need to add to my list. What was it? Was it names? And he goes, no, you don't spell it like that. What was the word that he wrote on the envelope? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I haven't seen this movie since it was in the theater.
Really? Okay. Yeah. So that's been a minute.
I saw it in the theater and I haven't seen it since. But I remember it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
Jack Nicholson also, like, there's a point where he shoots somebody and he's like, hey, he landed funny.
Yeah,
or whatever. And there's a clip going around on the internet where it talks about that, and he's like, and I thought it'd be funny if he said this, and then they're like, no, and it's Matt Damon that's telling the story, and then they said, okay, yeah, you can do that, and so he ad-libbed that, and then he says, okay, yeah, can we keep it rolling? Because if we keep rolling, he could also do this. And Jack Nicholson was taking all these liberties with just adding to stuff all the time. And who's going to say no to Jack Nicholson? You know what I mean? Like, you can do whatever the hell you want, Jack. Like, yeah. So
yep, you can always cut it later. Who cares? Let
exactly. So just some kind of charming maybe about these actors like putting their twist on stuff. I love that.
Absolutely. And then it's that director to be so open-minded about it too, and giving accepting of it, that you got to love that too. That's why I think Scorsese knocks him out of the park every time. Yeah, he was hilarious in this movie. She landed funny. And he's like, Frank, you really ought to see somebody. Yeah, you really ought to see someone, I think Frenchie was my favorite character in that movie. He was just a cool dude. Because I think the first thing I saw him in was Beowulf, the cartoon movie, animated movie. He was Beowulf in the movie. He did the voice of him. And I just remember I saw that, and then I saw him in this. And what else did I see him in? Where he just has this presence, that actor. I don't know. I don't even know his name, but it kills it, man. He's
in Damsel, that new the new have you seen Damsel? It's on Netflix. It's
I saw it pop
it's
up.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a corny dragon movie, but he plays her dad in that.
Nice. Corny dragon movie. Nice. Love it. I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite character in this movie?
Oh, Jack Nicholson is my favorite. Yeah. Anywhere I like Matt Damon. I like Leonardo DiCaprio, all that. But I mean, if you throw Jack Nicholson into anything, I'm a fan. Like, have you ever seen As Good as It Gets?
Yeah.
That movie just is a showcase of how incredible Jack Nicholson can be. That movie's so damn funny. Now I want to watch that. This is making just watch movies.
That's it. Yeah. Mark Wahlberg was hilarious in this too.
He's great too.
And so a lot of people were wondering, and this is the conspiracy. Do you remember the ending? So you remember the shocking ending, right? Where they're in the elevator and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then after, Matt Damon walks into his apartment with his groceries, and in walks Mark Wahlberg because he got fired. In walks him, and he's wearing booties and he's got gloves on and everything, and takes out Matt Damon. And a lot of people are wondering, well, was he the main mole? But to me, my perspective on it was, no, he was the good guy. He went back and got revenge for all the, he knew all along that he was the rat or the mole in the police system. And so he went and got, he was already fired. He didn't care. So he went and got revenge for everybody that they took. But some people were saying that he was also part of Jack Nicholson's crew.
Well, then they also show that rat running across the screen at the very ending. You know what I mean? Like on the windowsill that runs by, and it's almost like they're telling you a rat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was it? What I didn't get was, what was their obsession with that building that they had to live across the street for? Well, I don't even know what that was. And I remember he was sitting on the bench, Matt Damon with his buddy he goes, "Oh, don't even think about it. They'll never let you in there. They'll never let a Boston in there, or whatever, what was their obsession with that building, man? I don't even know. Was it a government agency? Was it the police? I
have no idea.
I think Jack Nicholson is the only person who can play himself and his character at the same time. Yeah. I mean, his Boston accent sucked. I will say that in that movie, because he goes, whenever he says, he has a line in there where he says, "You know what Lennon said? If you give me a freaking two bar, you give me a freaking 2-bar, and I'll give you something out of it." And I'm going, what is a 2-bar? And I asked somebody that goes, no, that was his attempt at a Boston accent. He was trying to say tuba. He's trying to say a tuba, because I never understood him, because every once in a while he goes, What can I use you for? That was probably the only Boston accent I ever heard in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I look at a guy like
I,
you, and he's eating the shrimp cocktail. Good
I want to
stuff.
challenge that last comment. What about Liam Neeson can play himself and somebody else at the same time? It's always Liam Neeson when Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's very true.
It's no matter what he does, it's always Liam Neeson.
Well, the only exception is Dark Man. I remember I keep seeing these clips of when he's at the carnival and he's with McDermott and on a date, and he's like, "Give her the teddy bear." He goes, "No, no," and he gets all pissed off, and he just like loses his rage, and he just hulks out or whatever, and it's all super cartoony with all the green screen background, like fire and everything. I was like, I mean, that's the only time I've ever seen him in such a different role character. You know what I mean? I don't know, just
Yeah.
that scene, it just stands out to me when it comes to Liam Neeson. It's a trip, dude. Love that stuff, man.
I haven't seen Darkman since it was in theater.
Oh, you don't need to. All you need to do is see that clip, and then you'll be like, okay. I see why I don't need to. Oh yeah, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, man. Did you ever see that movie? That's a
theater.
banger. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Love that movie, dude. And of course,
Actually, that's a lie. I saw that. I've rented that.
oh yeah. So was it Blockbuster or Hollywood Video?
I don't remember at the time. It's whatever membership I hadn't screwed up yet. You'd screw up one membership and then you go to another one. But one of them, I think it was Hollywood, would let you pay down and still rent movies. The other one would like, yeah, okay, you could still rent from us, but you need to pay this much. So you're like practically a payment plan. You're a bunch of broke. It's like, damn it, we got to drive all the way to William Cannon, which is a street in Austin. Like, why are you going to William Cannon? Well, that's the only Blockbuster we could still rent from. We've already screwed up these other 3 locations.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That is hilarious. Great movie, man. First time I ever saw Jason Statham in something. And then fun fact, it also had the this other actor who was really great. I really should probably pull up their IMDb's, but yeah, that's a great movie. I really like that one. Tony saying that hold on, let me get my mouse over here. Come on, where are you at? There you go. I can't see anything with these glasses on. Tony's saying he still owes Hollywood Video.
There's something just great about being able to scroll the aisles of a video store and like pick. I can't decide what to pick. Now it's like we're scrolling Netflix or whatever, and then you got to bounce from app to app to see which
so oversaturated.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff, but like you were limited at the video store, and there's something great about that. Like I talk about it with music too. It's like music. You had 30 or so songs played per month on a radio station. And yes, you had to listen to a lot of the same ones over again. You only had so many releases that came out, so many people on a label, that were getting stuff released, and so many spots on the end cap at Best Buy of what new music was out or what new movies are out. Like, and there was a limit, and the idea of unlimited sounds awesome, but now anybody can put anything out. And so we got so much oversaturation that it's hard to pick. It's overwhelming. It's nice. Now granted, you ended up with tastemakers who are deciding what the new trends are and things like that. But man, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I miss that.
And that's the thing about nowadays. The kids nowadays will never get to live what we lived through, So we are really part of a special generation, man. That was a part of a great time in history and Earth's, just whatever.
And it's all about money. But like, Pulp Fiction really reacted okay, let's get a bunch of other Pulp Fiction. So now all of a sudden we end up with all these cool crime gun movies. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, hey, Batman was like different things would hit, and then they try to follow up with other things like it, and they're trying to ride that wave of whatever the trend was, but it was cool. Like, oh, that's like, and I remember I was telling this kid. It was cool. I was telling this kid, like, dude, because he said, oh yeah, all the Gen X stuff is like all the kids my age, and he was like 22. He's all the people my age now are like getting into all this Gen X stuff, and I go, yeah, like. And I was trying to tell him about Batman. I was like, when the original Batman with Michael Keaton, it's not the original, but that's one say it made a real movie. You know, I mean, it was the first time we see Batman in real life. Like the Adam West one was real cartoony, you know, but this is like real life. This is like if Batman was real, like holy cow. I remember the hysteria. There was like main on. There was like you go into Spencer's or any store at the mall, and there was like Batman shirt. There was like 15 of different to choose from. I had like a Batman shirt for every day of the week, and then like the Prince, the soundtrack with Prince did the soundtrack, and there was all these different things and like it was just cool, Batman everything. And then you're like, oh look, my Burger King cup with Batman on it, and it's like, I love that about that era because it was like that too with like Back to the Future. You know what I mean? Like I remember getting Back to the Future glasses that were futuristic, weird looking glasses that
Pizza Hut.
From Pizza Hut, yeah, and I collected all of them. There was 4 different ones. I had them all, and there was always stuff like that. I had a Rocky T-shirt that was a 80s. It was a sleeveless that has like the collar material. I had that around and it was a muscle shirt, not thin muscle shirt, but like full on to the edges, and it had the United States flag boxing glove and the Russian boxing glove like punching with an explosion. And awesome shirt. And I got that at Church's Chicken you know, as a kid. I just love and it's corny. It's corny. It's corny marketing and stuff. But when you're a kid, that's super cool. Like, stuff, and I love that.
And you make some great points. It's not even about. See, it's funny when we were kids and even teenagers or whatever. We went and watched whatever was in the theater. I mean, it was going to pique our interest regardless. Of course, unless it was like grown-up movies where there's just all talking or whatever. We didn't care for that. We wanted whatever with the big top boxes of summer blockbusters, Last Action Hero, all that kind of stuff. We were just all about it. And even till today, you know, people will try to look back on it and they'll be like, they'll just tear it apart. And I'm like, oh, that movie was so lame, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, that movie is amazing because you have to keep your perspective of when you were that age and that nostalgia, carry it along with you through the rest of your life to keep those moments and happiness and that childlike spirit alive, man, to keep positivity and all that kind of stuff going. And I think that's something that a lot of people have like gravitated towards as far as like, oh yeah, that movie was not as great as it used to be, you know, so no. You got to get away from that stuff. Don't let other people influence you saying that it sucked. You know, so no, just think about how you felt whenever. Do you remember how you felt when you were watching that? You know, I recently posted something on my TikTok. It was the old school HBO world feature presentation where they're flying through this little city. You know, the fake city, and that music with that piano. Ring, ring, ring.
We used to play that. We used to play that music before Riddlin Kids would come on stage. We would play that.
No way. That's killer.
Way back in the old days.
There's something about like that specific clip. When I hear that music, I get weird, man. I just feel something weird. So many strange nostalgic emotions that run through me. And I can't help. And I'm immediately transported back. And I told my buddy that. He goes, well, because you're connecting to whenever you were that child, that moment, what you felt whenever that used to be your thing, whenever you would watch that as a kid. I go, yeah, you're right. Because we had like this really terrible shag brown carpet, and we had like it was the case for the TV, the frame for the TV was a big dark wooden frame that was bigger than the actual screen, and when we would watch it with the Betamax machine sitting on top of it, man. And that's exactly what it reminds me of whenever we were allowed to watch stuff that was age appropriate. And we would look up we got some TV guides, but every once in a while, but do you remember the HBO guides that would come in
Yes.
in the mail?
Yes.
And they were straight up HBO, little bitty flimsy little thing. I know I got so
they were exciting. I loved. Did you get the new HBO guide?
Yes, and you remember the little pictures of seeing the movies and everything, and it was like this kind of material. This is an actual a Toys R Us kind of a pamphlet thing or whatever. It's a summer 1994 summer little bitty,
like that big. They were
tiny. It's great. You remember? But I love hitting that nostalgia, and that's one of those things that one specifically hits me every time. I just can't help but to feel it. Do you got something like that gives you that feeling? That reminds you of that?
Just that whole era of stuff. It was like, I mean, and of course I'm saying that because I was a kid at those times, you know what I mean? But what you were just talking about got me excited. Like I was thinking about it. I used to go to my grandpa's house, and this kid named Lawson lived down the street, and I would go over to Lawson's, and sometimes I'd stay the night over at Lawson's house, and which is kind of funny. I was staying at my grandpa's, and then I'd go over to Lawson's house. But we go over there, and they would rent all these scary movies that I never watched them. Like it was like Halloween and Friday the 13th, and all these things, and Phantasm, and Pinhead and all that stuff. Like and you describing that TV gave me a flashback of their TV with the VCR on top and watching those movies in there. But yeah, it's that whole era was great. And I was trying to think of movies that I used to watch when I was a real young kid. When I was a kid, I had a TV in my room, and it was a 12-inch black and white TV. And I had cable, but I had cable, and I had HBO and the Disney Channel, and I don't know if MTV had come out yet, and Nickelodeon, and I still remember the channels. Like 14 was HBO, 16 was the Disney Channel, 18 was Cinemax, 21 was MTV, 23 was Nickelodeon, 24 was USA. I don't know why I still remember that. Channel 13 was New York, or not New York, was Chicago, and I used to watch the Bozo Show on that.
Oh yes,
and every morning, and like brand crib $50 bill when they play that ball game.
What was the ball game? The bucket thing. What was the bucket?
The bucket thing, yeah. They're like, a brand new Schwinn bicycle. But yeah, it's just fun stuff when you're a kid, and and I guess. I don't mean to sound like a boomer. Like I don't have that. We had all these things. They do, because you know what? Stranger Things is all over the place. Jenna Ortega is a big phenomenon, and all these different things from her Wednesday dance and all that. So I guess these people now, it's just packaged differently. Now they're streaming it and not going to see it in a theater. It's just different. And I worry about that because I'm such a fan of movies, that like the movie is being replaced by the series, because you can and even storytelling is changing, because now you need to make it an 8-hour or a 8-episode digestible thing, instead of a 2.5 hour, 2-hour movie. Now they're starting to tell stories drawn out, and it's a, I guess to me, interesting thing to think about. But yeah, maybe I wonder if movies will always be around in the theaters, because to me it's an experience going to a movie theater, or there's going to be a time where movie theaters start closing down. That's scary to even talk about.
I will say my favorite part about COVID was the theaters, because they still had it, but they skipped seats. So you had all that extra space between. You had all the extra room, man. It was great. I love the extra room. You didn't have to be
to combat that, I've gotten used to sitting really close at the theater. And for me, I'm like, dude, I could watch something from far away at home. I'm not sitting in the middle or in the back. I sit at the not first seat, but usually, and they've gotten good about getting seats farther away from the screen now. But like one of the theaters here, there's like you walk in and there's the walkway where everybody goes up, and then there's a few seats down, like up at the front that are after the walkway. I will get in like the second row, and once you recline the seat, it's fine. It's larger than life. I have this huge movie, and there's not some douche behind me because everybody was like, "It's like that guy's crazy over there." I can't hear somebody jiggling around a milk dud out of their box or whispering to their girlfriend because I'm way up here and you guys are way back there. So I love it.
Yeah, good point. Good point. And I like the design of the new ones. With because you got the recliners, and then there's a big wall behind you now, between
Yes, that's
everybody.
one.
So yeah, that's good stuff, man. I like that a lot.
Back in the old days, your neck hurts if you're sitting up at the front. You know what I mean? But now we don't have that. We've got like modern recliners. It's actually comfortable up there.
It's really nice. Yeah, I love going to the theater too. And there's something about having the energy of everybody's in the theater too. You know, you're like, especially comedies. Comedies, oh my gosh, I have a blast. And action movies are great too, you know, because you just got the excitement feel of it. But we went and saw Wonka in the theater, and it was, dude, it's got the lady from, she was in Hot Fuzz. She played the queen on one of the Crown episodes. And she's hilarious in it. I mean, the whole movie's got a lot of comedy in it. It's really funny, dude. You'll
I need to
really
watch it. Yeah.
you'll get a kick out of it. And I was just cracking up, and then like you would hear, you could just bounce off of everybody when one person starts laughing, everybody just starts trickling in, and it's a great community experience. You know, it's love it, man.
When I went and saw Across the Spider-Verse recently, recently when it was in the theater, the vibe in there, like everyone was like, little Easter eggs would pop up, and you could hear across the theater people like, oh, or whatever, you know what I mean, like different things that would pop up. Everybody's laughing at the same time, and it was like, it definitely was a theater experience. Like
yeah. And it's great because you almost want to stand up and say, hey, we can be friends. Hey, we can be friends whenever, because when you all get those things, you know.
I was in the first showing, and all super fans in there, so it's like everybody was just having fun together. So it's like going to a Spider-Man convention or something. I remember too, one of my biggest moments when seeing Avengers.
Oh yes,
in the theater, when he pops up, he says, "On your left," and everybody, woo! The whole theater erupts, and so much fun.
Oh yeah, in in-game, yeah, yes.
Yeah,
that was left. Amazing. On your left, hey Cap, on your left. Oh,
yeah. So everybody's like, "Oh my god!" They did a great job with that movie.
I love that. Yeah, I love that whole series, man. That whole thing was fantastic. What a epic Marvel cinematic verse that they pulled together from. All the way from what was the very first one? The first Avenger, Captain America. Oh no, it was Iron Man, and then all the way up to Endgame, dude. Everything in between there was just amazing. What phenomenal stuff.
I'm excited for Deadpool coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be
the new Deadpool 3 is gonna be with Deadpool and Wolverine. It's gonna be incredible. Like
I know. Well, I've already looked at. If you look at the IMDb, you can see who else is gonna be in there. But so I love that they're finally crossing over into X-Men, dude, with the Marvel stuff. It's gonna be awesome. And it's funny because Ryan Reynolds Deadpool is just, it's just one of those things you can't not like it. You cannot not like it. I mean, it's like you're not gonna, we're gonna have a great time. And it's Hugh Jackman. Who doesn't love Hugh Jackman? Best Wolverine ever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just, I guess he was the only one, but I heard back in the 80s, Danny DeVito was up to play Wolverine in the early 80s because
he's comic accurate.
Yeah, because he's the Wolverine in the comic books is apparently 5'2". So he's super short, man. And so that was the rumor mill. But I'm totally stoked about Deadpool 3. That's gonna be hilarious, man. It's just gonna be great. And I wonder, I can't wait to see who all they're gonna bring in with this crossover stuff, dude. It's gonna be great. What are your predictions?
I'm hoping X-23 is in it. She's in Logan. She's Wolverine's daughter,
Oh, the
basically.
daughter? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping she shows. I'm pretty sure she's going to show up. And there's all kinds of things like where they're talking. There's a patch, which is a Wolverine secret identity that he has in the comics, where he hangs out in Madripoor and has a patch and stuff. They showed a little clip where you could see him, and they're like, "Oh, dude, patch! That's Wolverine." There's rumors that Henry Cavill is supposed to play a Wolverine variant. There was a bunch of people thinking Daniel Radcliffe was going to be Wolverine, and there's no telling what the hell they're going to do. Storm is supposed to. There was Halle Berry was spotted with the Storm haircut, so they're like, well, that's happening. You know what I mean? In real life, they saw her Storm haircut, so there was photos of her, so they're like, okay, Storm's back. And then I heard a rumor that Cyclops might show up from the Fox stuff. There's Patrick Stewart is supposed to pop in, and Sir Ian McKellen is supposed to pop in. Like, so if you got old Magneto and Professor X, which, man, Sir McKellen is one of my favorites. Like, I love that man. Anything he's in is legit.
Yeah, no doubt. He's amazing. Yeah, because when the original Fox X-Men movie came out with Bryan Singer, director, it was phenomenal, man. I mean, and to be able to bring that back, and for people like us that watched it when it came out, man, it's gonna be so amazing. I think Jean Grey. I think I saw she was on the IMDb already. I think she's on the IMDb.
I can't think of the actress's name, but she walked by me one time in real life. I was in New York, and I had a sit down with the VH1 executives and Columbia Records execs, and our president of our imprint label, all sitting down having dinner together, and they were trying to get Riddlin Kids to do. Cameron Diaz was going to do a trash show that they were going to do on VH1, and they wanted Riddlin Kids. They were trying to pitch Riddlin Kids to use one of our songs as the theme song for this VH1 TV show. And so we're sitting there whining and dining, and then the one of the VPs from Columbia Records starts trying to pitch Switchfoot, talking about Switchfoot, and then and at some point I got irritated. I was like, man, and I was like, hey guys, I'm right here. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you should talk about Riddlin Kids, not a Switchfoot. Like, what are you doing? This guy's like, oh, basically I got to sit down with VH1. Now I'm gonna push this other project that I'm actually behind. Which I like Switchfoot as much as the next guy. But anyway, long story short, I checked out of this. Basically, kind of irritated me, and I go, "These are a bunch of corporate d-bags." I really liked the president of our label that was from Chicago. He was really cool and always batted for us. But this little thing kind of let me know, like, what us punk rockers, like, these corporate douchebags. And so I kind of checked out, and then we go outside, and I should be like, hey, it was great meeting you. I should, and trying to schmooze and be a business guy with VH1 and with Columbia Records. Because at the time, while the record industry was failing and people are starting to do downloads, not buy CDs, they were losing money like crazy. And so the record companies, they were doing anything they could to sell CDs. And what would happen when you have a label like Columbia Records that has like 30 or 40 artists all at the same time, they would push somebody like the Offspring. Offspring better sell 5 million records the first week or everyone's fired. And then when you have an unproven band like Riddlin Kids, they were like, whatever, forget those. So you got all these bands that barely got any kind of a push. And when and they tell their Sony reps, you better have the Offspring on the end cap at Best Buy, and you better have this, this new Beyonce on the end cap at Best Buy, Riddlin Kids, we don't care where you put them, or in many other bands like this, because they needed sales, and the Offspring sold 7 million records before they were even signed to Columbia or to Sony. So that's a proven deal. And so when people are trying to save their jobs, if you don't sell this many records, everyone's fired. It made for an interesting time. So these guys are all trying to do business. So this guy is like, hey, screw Riddlin Kids. What about Switchfoot, guys? You should check them out. And I'm like, he's
right in front of you,
right in front of me. Yeah. And he was a higher up guy. Like, these are the people that we're trying to impress all the time, so that they will push us. And hey, so-and-so is going to be there. Make sure you make a good impression, because you need this guy on your side. And when it's time for tour support, or anything like that, we were always trying to be his best friends with everyone. We would go around and even go play for the marketing teams and stuff. They'd have these quarterly meetings, and we'd show up, play an acoustic set, and then go out to the free dinner afterwards and get drunk with these people and make friends. Because when it's time to set up the end caps, and they see we didn't want to be lost in the middle of the under R. We wanted to be featured right next to the Offspring. So like, I would buddy up with all these people, and it's good. The people over at Aware who taught us this, and it's good. It was good. It was good marketing for selling your own band. And it's like, you guys are the representatives of this band. Go out there and do it. So anyway, the long story short, I got annoyed because that guy had done that with Switchfoot right in front of me, and I kind of just checked out. And they flew me to New York. I could go sit down and talk about this, and you're talking about Switchfoot. So anyways, by the time we're done eating and we're out in the street, I'm sitting there, and everybody's talking. Instead of like really engaging with these people like I should have, all of a sudden, those are footsteps, if you don't know what that was supposed to mean. And I look over, and it was Jean Grey, the actress who plays Jean Grey, and she walked by me, and I'm like, holy crap! And what? And I go, that's Jean Grey. What? Nobody knew what the hell I was talking about. The MTV or VH1 people didn't know, or everybody looked at me like, what a weirdo.
Isn't that what they looked at? Dude, isn't that a freaking mind trip? These people that are in the business. How do you not know?
Did she just walk by me? And you know what they looked at me like? They looked at me like I just went, Dickies. Yeah, they're pretty much. They're just like, okay, like, we're talking douchebag business right now. And who's this Jean Grey? I'm like, she's from X-Men. Come on, Anyway, yeah, it was fun.
That was hilarious. I love the way you brought it full circles. Yeah, good job, man. That was a great story, man. Thanks for the insight on that, because now I know I never want to be famous. I tell you what, man, that just sounds like I'm too old for that crap to deal with that kind of stuff, man.
There's a lot of schmoozing too. Like, that's what LA is like all the time. In the movie business, people, you're talking to somebody. I always noticed it too. You go you'd meet somebody. Oh, okay, and then they're looking over your shoulder to see if there's somebody more important who might sign your movie and buy you half a bar and give you $400,000. They're always looking for that opportunity. And oh no, I'm just you work for Warner Brothers, huh? What do you do? I'm a janitor. Oh, okay. Well, it's nice to meet you. And then just walk off, but like, I'm a casting director. Oh, really? So tell me more. That's how the whole world is over there.
That's great. And they hit the nail on the head with it. Did you ever see Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer? Did you ever catch that one?
Great movie.
So right at the beginning, he's Robert Downey Jr. sitting at an LA. He goes, yeah, I got roped into being an actor into this movie, and he's sitting there talking to this really attractive young lady, and she goes, so yeah, I'm an actress. I was in this and I was in that, and then so what do you do? Oh, what did he say? He said, I make those little bitty plastic. No, that was Cocktail. He said he does something that he goes, I make the little umbrellas that you put into drinks or something like that. And she goes, oh. Yeah. See you later. You know, as he just walks
Yeah,
off.
that's exactly right. I used to do that too. I'd meet people too back when Riddlin Kids was on the radio and stuff, and I would tell people that I was a guitar tech or something, and then they'd walk off. I'm like, douche, you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a
Oh,
great way
you
to.
play? Oh yeah, yeah, I'm on tour right now. Oh, who with? Riddlin Kids. Oh, really? I know that band. Cool. What do you do? I'm a guitar tech. Oh, and then they would walk off, and then I was like, cool. I'm not even going to tell them. You know what I mean? Like, well, if
Yeah.
if somebody's a dirtbag, then let them go be a dirtbag. But
That's
but
right.
at the
Yeah,
time,
crazy world, man. Crazy freaking world over
yeah,
there.
it's
No,
funny.
thank you. I'm out of it. I'm not into it. 28 days later, we talked about this a little bit earlier. You know, I just picked somebody that's I hear a lot of Scottish and Irish accents in this movie to me. I don't know if they could all just be from England for all I know. But
Killian Murphy's in the.
a young Cillian Murphy is in it. If you ever saw Ninja Assassin, the young lady from Ninja Assassin was the badass in this movie. She was or the love interest, obviously. What a great movie this movie was. I really this was the dude from Trainspotting was in the part 2. He was in part 2 of this 28 weeks later. So the dude with the mustache in Trainspotting who was on the cover. Yeah, he was in 28 weeks later, the sequel to this movie.
And I heard that there's a 28 months later in development right now.
Oh man.
And
Interesting.
28 months later, you could say, "Oh man," but consider this: what if Cillian Murphy signs on to go back to this? He's aged, but timeline wise, it works out about right. Where it could be him again. 28. Not 28 months later. 28. They're skipping months. They're going to 28 years later.
Oh, there you go.
That's what it was. They're skipping months. Like you're thinking, oh, days, weeks. Next, they're going to go for months. No, they're going to because they could be age appropriate for that same role. 28 years later. So that would be interesting if they did that.
It would be interesting, but the trick is they ended off with the cure in the second movie. So I mean, it's because they found the girl who was immune. I mean, she was infected, but she had the cure. That's how they ended the second movie. So I figured it was done after that. You know, so I'm curious to see how
they probably. Yeah, maybe it morphed. You know, that's an easy fix.
Yeah, I guess. That's true. But I really like this movie. I don't know if I'll watch it on St. Patty's Day, but I think it's good. It's St. Patty's Day worthy, we'll say that.
Right.
What else is on here? Here you go, Darby O'Gill and the Little People. I watched 19, dude, old school, bro. Like old school Walt Disney classic. It's a Walt Disney Vault classic pictures back in the day, and it's just about an old dude who's a little fiddler player, and this all of a sudden this little bitty leprechaun, he's a little king of the little people, and I've got visions of Sugar Plums dancing in my head of watching this when I was a little lad. Because I remember it. I remember this, man. You remember the old Walt Disney cases? How they would come in the plastic?
Oh yeah.
You know, one of those nice big thick plastic ones. We had this, and I watched it. But it's a St. Patty's Day movie because it's something to do with. It has a very young Sean Connery in it as a love interest, and he's in love with this guy's daughter, and for some reason, I don't really know what the plot is, but these little people, he's like, oh, hey, you're a little person, you're a leprechaun or whatever. And there's this whole world of little people, and they give him this whole spiel as, oh, once you come into our world, you're never allowed to leave. And I think he escapes. And then there's like this dark banshee thing coming after him. So there's some drama in it, man. But it's basically, I think it's just a love story and mixed in with some leprechauns. So there's old school. Go watch the trailer for it. It'll trip
I'll
you
check
out.
it out.
It'll trip you out, man. Let's see what else we got. The Commitments. Never saw this one, but it was on the list of St. Patty's Day movies to watch. But I'll tell you what, I did have the soundtrack. My dad bought the soundtrack to this, and it was the first time I heard Mustang Sally. And this is where that originated from. So the Commitment soundtrack. So that's where I know this from. But apparently, it's about a Irish group of people that want to start a soul band. And so all these Irish people get together and they make a band. So it's a musician movie. So I bet it's really good. I think it came on the early 90s and it takes place in Ireland. So The
Nice.
Commitment. Yeah, let's check that one out next time you get a chance. A few more here. I haven't seen this one. I heard it's really good. It's another one that came up on. Yeah, Banshees of.
I heard the same. That was on my list, and I meant to go check that. I wanted to see that in the theater. I missed it.
It looks great. I bet you the scenery in it is just sick. It's just because it's all in Ireland. Just that Ireland feel, man. Just the hills and everything. But yeah, Colin Farrell, and then the other guy from he was also in 28 Days Later. He was the dad. Yep, great movie. We got to check that one out. If you haven't seen that,
too.
He is. Yeah, he's the bestie. He's the bestie. We already did that one. I don't know why I didn't remove. Come on. Let's remove 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up for a spin. Okay. One of these is another deep pool. But yes, here it is. Did you ever see this in the 80s? You remember this movie?
No, I never did.
I remember watching this when I was a little kid, dude. I remember this. And this dude was creepy. The actor, he played Rumpelstiltskin. And it's the story of Rumpelstiltskin. And he captured this girl and he forced her to make golden twine with this.
I did see this.
Would spin. She would spin gold out of that thing. And
was it a cartoon of the same story?
Yeah, exactly. This was like a probably made for TV movie. Back in the day, it was right around the same time when Ewoks Battle for Endor and Ewoks, that kind of TV movie, kind of old school feel. What was the first one? Not Battle for Endor, but Ewoks. Battle for Endor was the one with.
There was a Christmas special also.
Yeah, I never saw the Christmas special. I never saw that.
Dude, do yourself a favor. It'll blow your mind. Go watch a Christmas special. What a treat you have waiting for you.
Oh boy.
You know, I'm excited for you. It's amazing. I can't believe that you just. If you've seen the Christmas special, you know what I'm talking about. Go watch the Christmas special.
Okay, we'll check that out.
Also,
go ahead.
Also, thinking about Harrison Ford and how serious he is and all that, for him to have cameoed in that is hilarious. Because I would like to think this is coming out of an era where there's like variety shows and stuff. You know, even Johnny Cash had a variety show, and all these different people have like variety shows. It's got that kind of a vibe mixed in to. It's very much a TV show from that era. Just watch it; you'll love it.
I'll give it a shot.
You'll hate it, love it. It's like you're like, I can't believe this. They did this. It's hilarious. It's so good.
I gotta look at it. It's live action, right?
Yes, yeah, it's live action.
Okay,
and that's the first. That was the first time that Boba Fett was in like he's animated in that, and that's where Boba Fett came from. And then they threw him into Empire.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that. Oh, I gotta scope it out. But fun fact, this actor who played Rumpelstiltskin in this live action movie was Gwildor in the Masters of the Universe Dolph Lundgren movie. So
nice. Yeah,
so he plays a creepy, very creepy Rumpelstiltskin. So go do yourself a favor and look that one old school, at least the trailer up, and enjoy that. Snatch, basically the sequel, in my opinion, Lock, Stock, Smoking Barrels Part 2. Awesome movie, super great. Another great Guy Ritchie flick. Enjoy this. Favorite character in this one? Who's your favorite?
I like Jason Statham.
Yeah, he's pretty chill.
That's the first time I ever really seen him, and I was like, this guy's cool. You know what I mean? Like that. Also,
he was cool.
The dude with the giant desert eagle.
The desert.
Was that Snatch?
With the giant desert eagle.
He's like, because I've got this desert eagle, and it's a giant gold gun. It's huge, a huge gun. I'm pretty sure that's Snatch.
You're probably
It's the big guy. The big guy in the what's his name?
Oh yeah, the big heavyset dude.
No, the big, like the giant dude. Let's see.
The guy from Gone in 60 Seconds who never says anything.
Vinny Jones, who's a big giant guy, and he has a Desert Eagle. Also, Benicio del Toro is pretty incredible in everything he does. You know,
Yeah, he is great. I think it was also funny because this was before Jason Statham became an action star. You know, with the transporters, and
Yeah.
then everything after that, and the Fast and whatever movies. But Brad Pitt was hilarious in this movie too. He was just like, "You like
the
Dax?"
Pikey.
The
Yeah,
Pikey.
he's actually the best character in that. That's actually the best. That's the winning answer. So, what's your the best character in Snatch was that. But there's a lot of crazy stuff in that movie, like them like disposing of bodies with the pigs and stuff like that. That was
Yep.
like, God, that's horrifying.
Yeah. It was a trip. Great movie. Great job.
Fantastic.
Three more here. Let's see.
I remember laughing really hard when anytime like Brad Pitt when he knocked the guy out, like you he just like you think he's getting beat up and then he just knocks the guy out. It's hilarious.
Gives him that left hook. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. It just, I don't know, there's something superhero, about those characters that you just gotta love, because he's just such a likable character. Leprechaun, man. Leprechaun, Warwick Davis. Classic.
Nice.
Classic Jennifer Aniston. Didn't really freak me out as a kid. I mean, it was a little spooky. I kind of dug it. I liked it. It was really fun, hokey. Just the first take on a horror Leprechaun, wasn't it? Right? That's the only first one I could think of.
What a terrible movie.
Yes, your luck just ran out.
In a great way.
Yes. Yeah,
this
exactly.
Leprechaun is kind of like it's like Thanksgiving something. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen Thanksgiving?
Not yet. That's a newer one, right? That's the new Eli Roth one.
It's a newer one, but it's a terrible movie, but awesome. You know what I mean? Or like watching like Jack Frost. I don't know if you've ever seen. There's a happy Jack Frost with Michael Keaton, but there's another Jack Frost that is like evil. It's hilarious.
Yeah. I think I've seen. Yeah, I've seen bits.
Anytime you got a snowman murdering somebody, it's hilarious. You know what I mean? And this leprechaun is like me gold. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, it was like because the guy it was what's his name from Teen Wolf, the basketball one of the basketball players from Teen Wolf. The farm kid who swallows a piece of the gold. He goes, "I swallowed a piece of gold. I'm gonna swallow a piece of gold." And then the leprechaun's like, he finally gets his gold and he's like counting them. And he's like 98, 99. Where's my last piece of gold? And then it's like, oh, homeboy swallowed it, and so he's got to go after him. He's like, I'm gonna tear open your belly and get my last piece of gold because he has to have every little.
He's gotta have his gold,
man. Dude. Great.
We watched that on my YouTube channel. We would do a show called Versus where we would put two movies up against each other.
Yep, I've seen that.
And see, so they were usually pretty fun. We do things like E.T. versus Predator, but one time we did Leprechaun versus something, and I can't remember what the other movie was. But we would do themes. On holidays.
That's great. I love that you do that because you opened my eyes, and I told you this at Pinballs that you told me the story of in that show about how Galaxy Quest and Three Amigos are the same movie. And I was like, whoa, I never even put that together. And I've been like telling everybody about your show. About every time I bring that up, I go, yeah, Clint, he's the one who opened my eyes to this, man. And that's such an epiphany thing that I never even put two and two togetger on that way, man. And
me and my buddy Curtis, like, we would just he's in Houston, and we started doing that, and like we just sit down doing exactly what we're doing, just have a conversation about movies. But we'd pick two movies, and then we'd make sure and watch them that week and take notes and stuff. And then we come in and some usually usually it was I'd pick one and he'd pick the other. You know what I mean? And I'd try
Yeah.
to come up with a good match. And sometimes he'd pick them both. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's fun to hang out and talk about movies. You know, don't take
It really
don't
is.
take it too seriously. We're not sitting here like, well, the cinematography, blah blah blah. Like, you know, if it's notable, if it's something notable, then sure, you know, we'll do that. But
And that's
like,
what you're hitting the nail on the head there, man. Is that all these channels and all these people nowadays? I'm seeing everybody. All they do is critique. They talk about all the politics in Hollywood, and so they've got all that covered. What we do over
Exactly.
here, and what you do and what we do is we talk about just fun, because we're like the palate cleansers for people who need a break of just all the seriousness, man. We just want to
Yeah.
you want to come over here, have some drinks, and have a good time. Let's talk about good cinema and pop culture, man. That's why we're here. Talk about the good, the half cup, half full. You know, that's the way we see it.
Especially in like a live stream situation, because we're sitting there and like, oh man, what was that other movie he was in? So he's chiming in. It's like they're part of our conversation. You guys at home are part of our conversation, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. It's the chat makes the live stream for most of the time, man, because they're, like I said, they're the ones who help us out with names that we forgot about, like Johnny Lee Miller, you know, and people, and they'll help us out, and like you said, they're a part of the conversation, they're a part of it, man. So yes, live streaming is a blast. The other side of it's too fun though. I've seen people who just record their streams and then they do all the editing, so they're able to cut out all the in between, and they put, like, you know, they're able to do the production side of things of it. But me personally, I prefer the live stream because it's so organic, you know, and there's no, you get what you get, and we're all human. And if we can keep people entertained for 2 or 3 hours, yay, man, we got something, you know?
Yeah, man.
There you go. And a couple, finally got 2 more. And let's go with, part 2, Boondock Saints Part 2, yeah, All Saints Day.
I never saw this. No, I did see this one. It was not as good. It was not as good as the first one. I remember that.
No, it was. I was telling you this earlier, that it's basically the same movie as Part 1, in because it's the same concept. You got a guy, you got a new bad leader of the group, who is Johnny from Breakfast Club. What's his name? Judd. I couldn't come up with it earlier. Judd something.
Reinhold?
Yes. No. That's Judge Reinhold. Judd from Breakfast. I know who Judge Reinhold. I love Judge Reinhold, by the way. Yeah, he's yeah. What's your favorite Judge Reinhold movie?
Oh, I don't know.
My favorite is Vice Versa, with him and Fred
Oh yeah,
Savage.
that's a good one.
Yeah, when they swap spots. And he always plays the, oh boy. He just always has that face, man.
Is it Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Yep, he's in that. He's the
that's the
epic it in the
bathroom, swimming pool scene. Yep.
Totally, man. That's good old Judge Reinhold, man. He was in a lot of stuff. He was actually in the Santa Claus. Beverly Hills Cop. He was in Beverly Hills Cop.
I was just gonna say. Yep.
Great movie. I love that freaking movie, dude. That's a good one. Boondock Saints 2 was like you said, not as great. It's kind of the same storyline. They got to kill off, but they brought in some new characters. They brought in another Willem Dafoe character, but a female version, kind of thing, where she's another detective, kind of helping them out along the way with a terrible twang accent. she's from, I don't remember where she said she was from, but she had this really thick accent, you know, blah, 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 blah. But the bad guy was Easy Rider. What was who was Easy Rider? Peter
Nelson,
Fonda.
by the way.
Judd Nelson, thank you.
Peter Fonda.
Yeah, Peter Fonda was the Italian head mob, the secret guy who was Billy. Remember the backstory between Billy, their dad? You found out all that backstory and everything, and then they had a good conclusion where, you know, everything was gonna be all right, kind of thing. I don't know if we want to spoil anything for anybody, but the ending was good because what, screw it, let's just talk about it. Willem Dafoe comes back in, makes his cameo, and when they get arrested, so they win, they do their thing and go to prison. And then they're sitting in prison cells or whatever with all those people. And then they look out the window and there's Willem Dafoe talking to, the police girl. And she's like, oh, yeah, they're part of the biggest backing agency in the world. Right. So, which is the Catholic Church, which I thought was freaking a trip. Like, I never realized, I know it's a movie, but you think about how powerful, like, and how long the Catholic Church has been around. And how he's just like, yeah, so the only thing is that these people in prison, it's like they meant to get caught, because though they're not in there with those prisoners are in there with them. in scene. Oh yeah, that was great, dude. It had some good moments in it. Oh, and the new sidekick, the new Daniel Del Rocco guy, was hilarious too. Okay, this is the one you added to it last night, Far and Away. Yeah, I never saw this movie.
It's a fantastic movie. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in this, and they come to America from Ireland, and then like they're poor, and he's a boxer, and then they end up moving west to like go stake claims on land, because they're giving away land. They want people to settle in the United States, move west, and so they're like they're just poor and broke, and he's fighting, doing boxing matches just to make money, bare knuckles stuff, and it's just a really charming movie, and and they're racing to put their stake in the ground to get their land and stuff, and it's just a really great movie.
Nice.
Yeah,
I gotta check that one out.
It's just really well done. I think that's a Ron Howard movie. I think that's.
Well, then Oh, yeah, it says it right there. Yeah, you can barely. It's kind of gritty, but yeah, it's
there.
Right
there we
go.
Yeah, and movies like that. This movie is from the era of like movies like The Shawshank Redemption, where it's just like a charming movie. You know what I mean? That's what that movie is, and so. You see it pop up on your Netflix or Amazon or something, and you're looking for something, give it a watch. It's good. It's a good movie.
We'll check that one out. Cool, man. Well, that's all I got for the real wheel of pop culture, talking about the St. Patty's Day flicks, man. What'd you think, man? Did you have a good time?
I had a great time today, and it was fun. Like I said, I just love talking about movies and talking with good people. And there's some great comments in the chat, and people chime in, and I'm glad you guys hung out with us, and I'm glad you invited me on, man. I really appreciate it. And if you're not doing anything later tonight, 6 p.m. Nosh and Bevy, it's English pub. I'll be there drinking some Guinness. I might even have a Jameson if I decide to get crazy.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, I've listened to the Generation Exit band, man. I've listened to y'all's stuff online. It's good stuff, man. It's very, you don't hear this style of music much anymore, so it's nice that it's still alive. It's kind of how would you describe the band? How would you describe the genre?
Now, if I wanted to be like not describe anything, it's a melodic street punk band, but it's if you like Rancid and Dropkick Murphys and stuff like that, it very much sounds like I think like maybe we could inspired by like Epitaph bands from the late 90s or mid 90s punk explosion, and we're still doing it. We're like been doing it for years. We're still doing it. It's got some fun lead guitar work on it, and there's woes, there's gruff singing, but then there's also melodic stuff. So when it's one thing, you get like a hard screaming band, and then you get this other poppy melodic band. This is like a fusion of the two. And my role in the band is I sing backups and play bass and hang back. And my best friend Chris Clint is the singer, and it's half of Born to Lose, which was a great band back in the day while Riddlin Kids were doing it. They were touring a lot in Europe. They had a European deal and would tour all over the place, and went over there. And then it's half Born to Lose, and then half of Riddlin Kids because it's me and Dustin in the band, and then we have April who plays drums, who is a drummer for Sniper 66. Now she's in Generation Exit. So
Nice, man.
Yep.
And
Good stuff.
you're absolutely right. It's I like the balance there, because I watched some of the live performances where he's got that raspy, very, like you mentioned, Dropkick Murphys kind of raspy voice, and then heavier rah, 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 and then you come in with your melodicness of the melodies and everything, man. So it's a really great balance, man. Really great
Thanks
stuff.
a lot.
Yeah, dude. So it's I just keep up the great work, man. Keep up doing what you're doing, and let's get you back on the show. Tell everybody I'm going to solo you, and tell everybody where they can find you, and obviously anything else you got coming up. Plug the show again, all that fun stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, I can tell you, we had so much fun doing Riddlin Kids stuff that Dave is coming into town this week to work on some songs with me and the gang. So there's new Riddlin Kids songs coming. There's old recordings that never got released. We're going to put out a record where half of it is unreleased stuff, and we record some new songs. So I'm very excited about new Riddlin Kids stuff. And again, we had such a great time at our reunion show that we did, that we said, why just make this a reunion show? Let's play every once in a while. So we're not going to do it all the time. Everybody's familyed up, but we got a lot of things going on. But we will be doing more Riddlin Kids stuff. And if you want to find me, and like, we've got a Riddlin Kids Facebook page and Instagram, and so you can find Riddlin Kids there. Me, I'm the OG Clint Baker on Instagram, and Clint Baker on Facebook, and and I've got the OG Clint Baker on TikTok. On YouTube, I'm Clint Likes Everything is the name of my page, because, or my account, because apparently when I'm talking movies with people, and they're like, oh, this sucked, but I like to keep things positive, so I'll be like, man, it wasn't that bad. They're like, oh, you like everything. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick that up and run with it. So I made my channel Clint Likes Everything, and so there you go. So check it out. I haven't been posting for a while because I've been only got so much time, and I've been working on production stuff for Generation Exit and now Riddlin Kids, but I'm about to get back into it, and maybe start doing verses again. And I haven't talked to Curtis for a minute, but so you'll be seeing more of me. Please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll be putting out announcements soon. And and if you're in Austin area, go to Nosh and Bevy. It's 8440 Burnt Road, and catch Generation Exit tonight at 6 p.m. And thank you so much for having me on the show, and thank you guys at home for listening to me ramble.
Beautiful, man. That was great. Yeah. So yeah, dude, let's get you back on the show again. We're at some night where we can both be having some beers, and we'll just we'll keep going down those rabbit holes, because it sounds like you and I could just talk for forever.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love our chemistry. I think it's just fun, dude. It's just good people.
Yeah, man.
Good people, good times. I
got to get you talked with Bakertown, who's Curtis, who's the other guy that does verses with me. I think you two would really connect really well too. I'm gonna slide him your way, because I think you guys would have fun streaming also.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I mean, we should do a group activity. We should all get together and do a big stream or something, man. I mean, we'll get them on there, all that fun stuff. But hey, man, thank you so much, Clint, for coming on tonight. Everybody in the chat, the Real Life crew, thank you for joining us on this special St. Patty's Day live stream. I hope everybody has had fun. We've had a blast in here talking about some great old movies, man. And we're going to do it again. So keep in touch. Just, everybody knows my stuff. And just keep checking out my stuff. I got Trivia Tuesday dropping on Tuesday. And Thursday, I started a movie suggestion of the week. Every Thursday, dropping on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all that fun stuff. And then Friday, some kind of long form content. And then Saturday morning shorts, man. So that's my gig. You guys know me. And thanks for everybody coming out to the Ides of March sale. It was great to meet everybody. And we're gonna get some other people up on here. But I really, Clint, let's do this again.
Absolutely.
And have an amazing show tonight. You guys are gonna kill it like you always do. And we'll just catch everybody later. Okay. All right.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1. Peace out, everybody. Have a great week.
Later.